Chapter 1723. 1723 Chapter 1723 Kill. If you want. Zheng's body stiffened, and his face turned green and white. His eyes were filled with disbelief and he slowly turned around. Not far away, two old men were looking at Zheng with cold eyes. Zheng's face instantly turned pale. The two old men were the Valley Masters of Cloud Dragon Valley and Ice Dragon Valley. Zheng, I'm really disappointed in you. Ice Dragon Valley Master sighed. What's there to say to him? If I don't kill him today, hell bring endless disasters. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master's face no longer had a gentle smile. Instead, it was filled with cold killing intent. Buzz. The sound of a sword rang out as the Cloud Dragon Valley Master stepped out. The terrifying sword power pressed towards Zheng. Zheng, what are you doing? You want to kill me? I'm the master of the Silver Dragon Valley, and my status is on par with yours. You're not qualified to kill me. Zheng shouted. Laughable. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master's voice was cold as he slashed out with his sword. The vast sword power caused Zheng's expression to change. He gritted his teeth and instantly rushed towards Lu Ming, wanting to take him hostage. However, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master would not let him have his way. He changed the direction of his sword and slashed between Zheng and Lu Ming. The terrifying sword power sent Zheng flying while Lu Ming was unscathed. Buzz. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master took a step forward and appeared in front of Lu Ming. Once again he swung his sword. Blood splattered in all directions and Zheng was almost cut in half. A terrifying wound appeared on his body, and he spat out a large mouthful of blood. His face was filled with horror. Valley Master, save me. Save me. I, the Valley Master of Silver Dragon Valley, have been giving my all for Dragon God Valley. I have made so many contributions over the years. You can't just watch me get killed. Zheng cried out and begged the Master of Ice Dragon Valley. Zheng, I've never seen you spare no effort in all these years. You're too selfish and devoted to yourself. Everything you do is for your disciples, your descendants, and yourself. You even abuse your power to seize the opportunities of other Valley disciples. The other Valley Masters have mentioned it to me many times and I've given you many chances, but you're unrepentant. Ice Dragon Valley Master sighed. No, there's no such thing. Slander, it's pure slander. Zheng shouted and quickly denied. Slander? Then why did you ask Silver Dragon Valley to hide in the back during the war with the three sects? Ice Dragon Valley Master continued. That's not worth it. Is it worth it for Lu Ming, an ant from a deserted island? Is it worth it to fight to the death for him? Who does he think he is? My attitude has always been to hand him over and ease the relationship with the Heavenly God sect. Also, the reason why I asked Lu Ming to hand over Emperor Tsang's inheritance and treasures was also because of this. I didn't do it for myself. I wanted to give it to other sects to appease their anger. This way I can protect Dragon God Valley. Valley Master, everything I did was for the sake of Dragon God Valley. Heaven and earth can bear witness to this. Zheng quibbled, just short of a nose and a tear. He directly pushed away everything that he had done just now and said that he had done it for the sake of Dragon God Valley. Lu Ming sneered. This old man was indeed more cunning than a fox. This, and NBSP this. Ice Dragon Valley Master muttered. And NBSP, the Valley Master of Silver Dragon, saw the hesitation on Ice Dragon's face and was ecstatic. He thought that he was saved and was about to say more. Puchi. A long sword pierced through his dantian from behind, shattering his saint heart. Zheng let out a shrill scream and turned around madly, looking at the Cloud Dragon Valley Master in disbelief. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master had actually made a move and destroyed his saint heart in one move. Once his saint heart was destroyed, he would be a cripple. Even if he didn't die, it would be worse than death. You, and NBSP. Zheng's eyes popped out, filled with unwillingness. He had already persuaded the Ice Dragon Valley Master, but he hadn't expected that the Cloud Dragon Valley Master would not play by the rules. So much nonsense. If I say I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master said indifferently. With a wave of his hand, his sword aura burst forth, and Zheng's body was reduced to ashes. You believed his clumsy nonsense? And NBSP Cloud Dragon Valley Master waved his hand, and the sword flew back into his hand. He then gave Ice Dragon Valley Master an unhappy look. It's not that I believe him, it's just that we've been fellow disciples for so many years, so I can't bear to see him like this. And NBSP hehe? Ice Dragon Valley Master bitterly smiled. Valley Master, why have you come here? Lu Ming cupped his fists and asked curiously. Zheng, this guy, he's always acting sneaky, he definitely doesn't have any good intentions. Senior brother and I just happened to be going out for some business, and when we saw Jing going out as well, we followed him along the way. I didn't expect him to actually have ideas about you. He's really looking for death. Originally, we didn't have a reason to kill him, but now it's time to behead him. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master said. Lu Ming nodded and asked, Master, you said you were going out. What's the matter? Aren't the other sects forming an alliance in the Tianyu Demon sect? Let's go and join in the fun. We can't just sit and wait for our deaths. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master said. The Tianyu Demon sect. Master, Valley Master, when I searched Mo Yang's soul earlier, I discovered a huge secret. Lu Ming raised his eyebrows. Then Lu Ming told him about the blood demon Shakyamuni and the intentionless saber sect. What? The Tianyu demonic sect has actually sided with evil spirit, and they've even hidden a Dharma king and people from the intentionless saber sect. And NBSP what? Ice Dragon Valley Master was shocked. Aha, just in time. Just in time we can break their alliance. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master's eyes lit up and he laughed. Ming-er, you should return to Dragon God Valley first. Well, set off for the Tianyu Demon sect now. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master continued. Master, I want all of you to come with me. Lu Ming said. No, it's too dangerous for you to go. There are many experts in the Tianyu Demon sect now. If the war starts, even I can't protect you. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master waved his hand and refused. Master, I've obtained a treasure in the 100-clan battlefield that's enough for me to protect myself. I also have a plan that, if successful, can split the other party's alliance. Let's go, Lu Ming said. He then told her his plan. You can really protect yourself? Cloud Dragon Valley Master asked again. When he received an affirmative answer from Lu Ming, he nodded and said, All right, well, carry out your plan then. Master, please wait a moment. I have to send Ying and the others back to Dragon God Valley first. Lu Ming said. We'll bring you back with us. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master said. Lu Ming nodded and then kept Mo Yang into the mountain and river diagram. Mo Yang would be indispensable in his future plans. As for the corpses of the two saints, Lu Ming burned them to ashes. Then, the Valley Masters of Cloud Dragon Valley and Ice Dragon Valley brought Lu Ming back to Dragon God Valley. After releasing Qiu Ying and her sister, the two Valley Masters took Lu Ming in the direction of the Sky Demon sect. Master, Valley Master, with just the three of us, I'm afraid we don't have enough manpower. Lu Ming said. The three of us are obviously not enough. There are still others. They'll bring you to them later. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master smiled. Chapter 1724. 1724 Chapter 1724 Killing his way to Tianyu Demon sect on a tall and handsome mountain peak, Lu Ming saw three figures standing against the wind. The Ice Dragon Patriarch, the head of the Life and Death Sword sect, and the Lord of Demon Castle. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. The relationship between the Life and Death Sword sect, Demon Castle, and Dragon God Valley was very good, especially the Demon Castle, which had a close relationship with the Ice Dragon Patriarch. It was not surprising that the three sects stood together. This way there were 5 absolute saints. The Ice Dragon Patriarch, Cloud Dragon Valley Master, and the Life and Death Sword sect leader were more powerful than normal absolute saints. This was a terrifying power. Why did you guys bring this little guy here? The Demon Castle Lord's eyes were like two suns as he looked at Lu Ming. It's like this. The Valley Master told him about the situation that Lu Ming had learned from Mo Yang's soul search as well as Lu Ming's plan. So, the Tianyu Demon sect is also a remnant of evil spirit. I've long guessed that there are other sects that are remnants of evil spirit, but I didn't expect it to be the Tianyu Demon sect. The Demon Castle Lord's body emitted a golden light, and his voice was cold. It's a good time to reveal the truth this time. Perhaps we can catch all the evil spirit remnants. The sect leader's voice was also very cold. Then they discussed the details and waited quietly. 3 days later, many sects would gather at the Tianyu Demonic sect to form an alliance. The Tianyu Demonic sect was bustling with activity. This time, 6 of the 12 top-tier sects of the Azure continent had gathered on the Sky Demon sect's Demon Mountain. The Tianyu Demonic sect, Yudu sect, Tianshin sect, Evil Moon sect, Blood Demon Tower, and Jiuxiao Sword sect. As for the Sky King Palace, Linglong Palace, and Piyuan family, the 3 major forces chose to remain neutral and watch. No one came forward. As for the Life and Death Sword sect and the Demon Castle, they naturally wouldn't come. There were 6 top sects and dozens of other small and medium-sized forces. The Tianyu Demonic sect was packed with people. On a towering demon mountain there was a huge hall. In front of the hall there were many banquet tables. The experts of the 6 top sects, including the Tianyu Demon Sect and the Tianshan Sect, were all sitting at the top. There were also some leaders of the small and medium-sized forces. The Grandmaster of the Sky Demon Sect sat at the head of the table. He looked around and said, "This alliance is meant to destroy Dragon God Valley. Do you have any suggestions? I think that if we can force Lu Ming to hand over Emperor Tsang's inheritance and treasures, there's no need to fight to the death with Dragon God Valley. We'll suffer 800 losses even if we lose 1,000 enemies. If we fight to the death with Dragon God Valley, our losses will not be small either." And NBSP, the Evil Moon sect leader, said. His words immediately received the approval of some of the smaller factions. Their alliance this time was for Emperor Tsang's inheritance and treasures, not to fight to the death with Dragon God Valley. You're wrong. With Lu Ming's current achievements, if he doesn't die, who can rival him when he grows up in the future? If Dragon God Valley was not destroyed, it would definitely cause endless trouble in the future. How could it not be destroyed? If we don't, we'll be the ones in danger in the future. The sect master of the Sky Demon Sect said. The others' expressions changed. The sect master of the Sky Demon Sect was not bad. Lu Ming's talent was too strong. If he grew up in the future and harbored a grudge with the support of Dragon God Valley, no one would be able to defeat him. All the sects that had participated in this matter were in danger. In my opinion, not only Dragon God Valley should be destroyed, but the Life and Death Sword Sect and Demon Castle should also be destroyed one by one. This way we can eliminate all future troubles. Moreover, we can divide the territory they occupy equally. In this way our sect will be stronger. The sect master of the Sky Demon Sect continued with a cold look in his eyes. If she didn't start a war, how could she obtain the souls of powerful saints for the Blood Demon Discipline King to absorb? How could they weaken the power of the Azure Continent? Therefore, the most important thing was not to destroy Lu Ming. The most important thing was to start a war. Just as the various sects were discussing, Lu Ming arrived, alone outside the Tianyu Demonic Sect. He did not stop and headed straight for the sect. Who's there? Stop. Someone shouted. A few young guards of the Sky Demon Sect appeared. When they saw Lu Ming, their faces changed and they shouted, Lu Ming is here. Get lost. Lu Ming took a step forward. The sky rumbled and the young guards spat out mouthfuls of blood. Figures flew out from the Tianyu Demonic Sect. A few of them had powerful auras and were obviously in the Saint Realm. When they saw Lu Ming, their expressions changed drastically. Someone shouted, quickly report to the sect master. Kill? Lu Ming stepped forward and shouted. He activated the Divine Sword technique. The few saints screamed in pain as their souls were destroyed by Lu Ming's Divine Sword technique. Lu Ming exuded a cold killing intent as he stepped forward in the air. Those below the Saint Realm were pale. They did not dare to stop Lu Ming and retreated. Many experts were in the middle of a discussion in the lofty hall when a few figures suddenly flew over in a hurry. The sect master's face darkened as he chided, What's the rush? Can't you see that I'm discussing important matters with the sect masters? Sect master, Lu Ming is here, one of the elders quickly said. As soon as he said that, the entire place fell silent. What? Lu Ming? How many people are there? The sect master of the Sky Demon Sect asked. Just one person, just Lu Ming alone. The old man replied. How dare he barge in here alone? Sect leader, he'll go out and capture Lu Ming. A great saint from the Tianyu Demonic Sect said. Wait a minute. It's impossible for Lu Ming to come here alone to die. He must be up to something. Let's all go out and see what he's up to. What do you think, everyone? The sect master of the Sky Demon Sect said. Alright, who cares what tricks he has up his sleeves? There are so many of us here. He won't stand a chance. Let's take this opportunity to capture Lu Ming and force him to hand over Emperor Tsang's inheritance and treasures. Let's go. The experts of the various sects all headed out of the Demon Mountain. Soon they saw some disciples of the Sky Demon Sect retreating while Lu Ming walked alone in the air. No one could stop him. This made the sect master of the Sky Demon Sect's face turn gloomy. The sect master of the Sky Demon Sect scanned the surroundings before his gaze landed on Lu Ming. Lu Ming, who else is with you? Tell them to show themselves. If you want the others to show themselves, we'll have to see if you have the ability to do so. Lu Ming said indifferently. He stood tall and straight, his eyes shining with a strong fighting spirit. His meaning was self-evident. Arrogant. I was careless last time. This time I'll take you down. An old man in a white robe stepped out. It was Mo Kong, the expert from the Tianshan sect who had fought with Lu Ming last time. Senior Mo Kong, I'll help you. A middle-aged brawny man stepped out of the Tianyu demon sect. He exuded a shocking aura. He was a great circle bright saint, no weaker than Mo Kong. Moreover, after knowing Lu Ming's combat strength, those who dared to stand out had most likely cultivated a divine power technique and were very confident in their combat strength. Add me. An old man from the Desire Poison sect also walked out. He was also in the great circle of the Bright Saint stage. Chapter 1725. 1725 Fighting a Great Saint. The three experts formed a fan shape and surrounded Lu Ming. Lu Ming stood calmly in the void as if he did not see anything. Brat, surrender. Mo Kong said coldly. Nonsense. Old man, if you want to attack, then attack. Last time you managed to escape with your life. This time I will take your life. Lu Ming said indifferently. Arrogant, kill, cut. Mo Kong shouted. Holy light burst forth, forming terrifying ribbons of holy light that enveloped Lu Ming. They formed a terrifying cutting power that cut at Lu Ming wildly. Lu Ming stood there quietly and did not dodge, allowing the holy light ribbon to envelop him. After the holy light ribbon had enveloped him, he made his move. He struck out with his palm and the holy light ribbon exploded. Lu Ming moved like lightning and charged at Mo Kong. Not good. Mo Kong's expression changed drastically. He felt that Lu Ming's combat strength had increased again. How was this possible? How long has it been? Devil Flame War Blade. Poison rules the world. At this moment, the experts of the Sky Demon sect and Yudu sect both made their moves. As expected, both of them had mastered sacred arts. The moment they attacked, it was a terrifying sacred art. The power of the divine ability was extremely shocking. It could easily kill experts of the same level who did not know any divine abilities. However, Lu Ming's expression was cold. He did not stop and struck out two palms in a row. Bang, bang. Their divine abilities were destroyed by Lu Ming. In an instant, Lu Ming appeared in front of Mo Kong. Mo Kong's body turned cold as he retreated frantically. However, a powerful devouring force enveloped him and made him stop. Kill? Lu Ming rushed over and struck out with his palm. His palm was like a heavenly blade. Mo Kong's body was cut in half and his soul was destroyed. Mo Kong was dead. Many people were shocked. Mo Kong was an old monster who had cultivated for more than 100,000 years. His cultivation had reached the great circle of the Bright Saint stage and he had cultivated a divine power technique. His combat strength was definitely at the peak of the Bright Saint stage. However, in Lu Ming's hands he was crushed and easily killed. The visual impact was too strong. Bus. After Lu Ming killed Mo Kong, he did not stop and rushed toward the other two. 9 sealing gates suddenly appeared in the sky and suppressed the expert from the Tianyu demon sect. The expert roared and madly slashed at the surrounding sealing gates. However, before the 9 sealing gates could be opened, Lu Ming had already arrived. No! He screamed in horror, but Lu Ming's palm came down and destroyed everything. The experts of the Tianyu demon sect followed in Mo Kong's footsteps and were killed by Lu Ming. In an instant, Lu Ming had killed 2 experts. The last expert from the Yudu sect was so frightened that he was scared out of his wits. He did not dare to fight Lu Ming and retreated frantically into the crowd. You're really a piece of trash. Weren't you very arrogant just now? Now you're so scared that you're shrinking back. Lu Ming looked at the person from the Desire Poison sect in disdain. The man's face turned red and he didn't say a word. This brat's combat strength has become stronger again. The Grandmaster of the Sky Demon sect murmured. His eyes were solemn and his killing intent grew stronger. The others were the same. They were extremely shocked. A month ago in the Dragon God Valley, although Lu Ming could suppress Mo Kong, it was definitely not that easy. He had to fight with many moves. But this time he was completely crushed. This was natural. Lu Ming's spirit body had evolved into a medium-grade heaven spirit body and his combat strength had increased tremendously. It was easy for him to kill a character like Mo Kong. Who else wants to take me down? Make your move. Lu Ming said calmly. He'll kill you. A cold voice was heard. Then a burly elder stepped out of the Sky Demon sect. He had a strong body, and his demonic chi was soaring into the sky. Every step he took shook the sky. He stood in front of Lu Ming. His terrifying aura made it difficult for many people to breathe. Great Sage. Many people murmured. The Great Sage was about to make his move. Great Sage Minor Mastery, make your move. I want to see how strong a Great Sage is, Lu Ming said. You'll regret it very soon. The burly elder said coldly. He took a step forward and threw a punch at Lu Ming. The demonic Dao laws circulated. The punch caused the air to howl violently. It was like a mountain as it crashed toward Lu Ming. A Supreme Saint's combat power was much stronger than a Bright Saint's. Brr. A dragon's roar came from Lu Ming's body. He activated the prison suppressing heaven technique and threw a punch as well. There was no shadow of the steel, but Lu Ming's fist seemed to have turned into the prison suppressing steel. Even the color of his fist seemed to be the same color as the prison suppressing steel. Thump. Their fists collided with each other, creating a terrifying boom. A terrifying shock wave burst out from their fists and rushed to both sides. The clouds in the sky were scattered by the shock wave as if they had been cut by a heavenly blade. One of the demon mountains was hit by the shock wave and exploded. Bus. Bus. The two of them retreated at the same time. They were evenly matched. Hiss. Many people gasped and looked at Lu Ming in disbelief. Abnormal, monstrous, too terrifying. He was only a lower-tier Bright Saint, but he could actually cross an entire realm and fight with a lower-tier Great Saint. What kind of concept was crossing over a major realm? They had never even heard of it before, let alone seen it. There was no record of it in the ancient records of the Azure continent. The difference between the initial Bright Saint realm and the Great Saint realm was too great. A Great Saint expert could kill a large group of initial Bright Saints with one slap. But now, Lu Ming could fight head-on with a Great Saint expert and not be at a disadvantage. It was incredible. The sect masters of the Sky Demon sect and the Tianxin sect were filled with murderous intent. They had to kill Lu Ming. If this continued, it would not take long for Lu Ming to surpass and kill them all. He had to kill Lu Ming. Is this all the Great Sage Realm has? Lu Ming said calmly. Arrogant kill? The tall and sturdy old man roared like a mad beast. A battle axe appeared in his hand. He raised the battle axe high and a huge axe formed in the sky. Demonic light bloomed on the giant axe, surrounding the laws. A terrifying aura spread in all directions. This was a terrifying sacred art. After stepping into the Great Sage Realm, it was not difficult to cultivate a superpower. It was only a matter of how well it was done. Slash. The burly old man waved his arm and the giant axe chopped down. It was as if it could split the sky and destroy everything. At that moment, Lu Ming's body glowed with light spots. There were a total of 108 light spots, and from each light spot, a holy weapon flew out. A total of 108 holy weapons surrounded Lu Ming. A combat sword appeared in Lu Ming's hand. It soared into the sky, and its aura was shocking. It was a Great Saint weapon. He had obtained this Great Saint weapon from the Divine Sun during his battle with him. In the past month, although Lu Ming had put all his effort into comprehending the Chaos Finger of Tribulation, he had also taken some time to cultivate the 10,000 Soldiers Scroll. Now that Lu Ming had entered the Saint Realm, his cultivation base had skyrocketed, and his spirit body had evolved. In one breath, Lu Ming sealed 108 Saint weapons in his acupoints, one of which was a Great Saint weapon. Chapter 1726. 1726 Chapter 1726 Defeating a Great Sage. The battle weapon chi of the 108 Saint weapons was extremely powerful. Lu Ming wielded the Great Saint sword and slashed out. A ray of sword light soared into the sky and clashed with the huge axe. Boom. In the air, the giant axe and the giant sword light clashed together, creating a terrifying boom. Then they were both destroyed. No one had the upper hand. Kill, kill, Lu Ming shouted. He took a step forward and charged at his opponent. Whoosh, whoosh. With a single thought, the saint weapons around him began to charge at his opponent. The burly elder shouted and waved his battle axe, sending the combat weapons flying. Lu Ming rushed forward with his combat sword in hand. The sword glowed with a milky white holy light. Clang. The two of them exchanged another blow and they were still equally matched. Lu Ming took a step back and took a step in the air, then charged at his opponent again. His opponent did the same. The two of them engaged in an intense battle. The battle sword and the battle axe kept colliding with each other, sending sparks flying in all directions. It was as if a storm was blowing in the air. The entire audience was silent as they watched without blinking. Many people were already numb to Lu Ming's combat strength. Could it be that even a Great Saint could not take down Lu Ming? Could it be that a stronger expert was needed? That would be really embarrassing. The sect master's face turned even gloomier. The Great Saint weapon in Lu Ming's hand belonged to the Divine Sun. He had given it to the Divine Sun. Now it was in Lu Ming's hands and had become his weapon. Lu Ming and the burly elder clashed head-on. They exchanged dozens of moves in an instant. The more the burly old man fought, the more shocked and anxious he became. A great saint had attacked a young man in the initial Bright Saint realm, and in a head-on battle, he had actually failed to take him down. This had never happened before in the history of the Azure continent. His attacks became more and more violent. Clang. Lu Ming exchanged another blow with his opponent and retreated. At this moment, Lu Ming's eyes turned pitch black, like two deep pools, unfathomable. At that moment, the burly elder seemed to have realized that Lu Ming had disappeared. Between heaven and earth, giant dragons pounced toward him. Illusion break. The burly old man roared. The soul in his sea of consciousness shone, and the battle axe in his hand swept out, destroying everything. This technique was the soul illusion technique which he had obtained from Qiao-ying. Bus. After casting the soul illusion, Lu Ming took a step forward and charged at the burly elder. Not good. The people who were watching the battle, especially those from the Sky Demon sect, were shocked. They saw that the burly old man suddenly slashed wildly at the air. Lu Ming's body was approaching at high speed, but the other party did not seem to have any reaction. Bus. Lu Ming's sword was aimed at the burly elder. Get lost. At this moment, the burly old man roared. He seemed to sense the danger and swung his battle axe at Lu Ming. The axe hit the combat sword and blocked Lu Ming's attack. It seems that my soul power is not enough. Lu Ming muttered. Due to the fusion of the main body and the secondary body, Lu Ming's soul force had skyrocketed and was now equivalent to the soul force of a great sage initial mastery. However, the other party was also a great sage initial mastery and his soul force was not weaker than his. Although Lu Ming had cast the soul illusion technique to make the other party hallucinate, the other party could still feel it when he was faced with a fatal blow. Just like at the treasure auction, Qiao-ying's soul power was far above the other party's, but the other party could not feel it at all and was completely trapped in the illusion. Kill. Lu Ming waved his hand and more than 100 holy weapons, all of which were offensive, flew towards the burly elder. At the same time he stepped forward and attacked the burly elder. The burly old man roared. He kept swinging his battle axe, bringing with it a violent wind that swept in all directions. Lu Ming could not get close. Do you think this will work? Suppress. Lu Ming's glabella glowed and the Tai Chi formation disc appeared, filled with endless runes. A Tai Chi pattern appeared and pressed down on the burly old man. The Tai Chi formation disc was mysterious and powerful. As Lu Ming's cultivation level increased, the power it could unleash became stronger as well. Bus. The Tai Chi pattern pressed down on the burly old man. The Tai Chi pattern contained the power of destruction and sealing. The burly old man's body trembled and he retreated. Kill. Lu Ming arrived and slashed down with his sword, cutting the burly elder into two. However, as a supreme saint he wouldn't die even if he was cut in half. The elder's body, which had been cut in half, retreated frantically. Lu Ming chased after him relentlessly, wanting to kill him. Enough. The Grandmaster of the Sky Demon sect waved his hand, and his saint energy wrapped around the elder like a ribbon, pulling him behind him. The burly elder broke away from the range of Lu Ming's illusion. The two halves of his body connected together and recovered rapidly. He looked at Lu Ming with lingering fear. He was almost killed by Lu Ming just now. Many people trembled in their hearts. Lu Ming had almost killed a great saint with his cultivation at the initial Bright Saint realm. What's wrong? If the Bright Saint can't do it, then the Great Saint can. Now that the Great Saint can't do it, are you, an absolute saint, going to make a move? Lu Ming looked at the sect master of the Sky Demon sect and mocked. He hated the sect master of the Sky Demon sect to the core and wanted to kill him immediately. He actually gave Xian Yinqing to evil spirits Dharma King to possess him. She had probably planned this since Xian Yinqing joined the Tianyu Demon sect and was accepted as her disciple. How dare you, Lu Ming? This is the Tianyu Demon sect. How can you act so atrociously here? Alright, now hand over Emperor Tsang's inheritance and treasures. The Grandmaster of the Sky Demon sect spoke indifferently and changed the topic to Emperor Tsang's treasure. There's no hurry. I'll let you see a person first. Lu Ming smiled. Then he made a grabbing motion in the air, and the Mo Yang appeared in his hand. At this moment, Mo Yang was still unconscious in Lu Ming's hands. Yang, what did you do to him? The Grandmaster of the Sky Demon sect's expression changed slightly as he berated. It's nothing much. This guy was chasing after a disciple of my Dragon God Valley. I happened to run into him, so I knocked him out and brought him here. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Now give me Yang. The Grandmaster of the Sky Demon sect spoke in a commanding tone. I can give it to you, but you have to give me Nianqing first. Well, each exchange one person. That's fair. Lu Ming said. In exchange for Nianqing? What a joke. Nianqing is my disciple, so how could I exchange another disciple for this disciple? The Grandmaster of the Sky Demon sect immediately rejected. Lu Ming's expression did not change. He had long guessed this outcome. The other party wanted to use Xian Yanqing to let evil spirits Shakyamuni possess him. Why would he trade for Mo Yang? So you're not exchanging? I've searched Mo Yang's soul before, and I discovered a shocking secret in his memories. Lu Ming smiled. The sect master of the Sky Demon sect's expression changed. His eyes turned even more sinister as he glared at Lu Ming. Don't lie to me, no one can search Yang Er's soul. Chapter 1727. 1727 Chapter 1727 Successful Blackmail. I know you've set up a seal near Mo Yang's soul. Once you search his soul, it will be destroyed. Unfortunately, you've underestimated me. Lu Ming smiled faintly. His smile made the sect master of the Sky Demon sect's expression turn uglier and uglier. You're still too inexperienced to try to deceive me. Let go of Yang. The sect master of the Sky Demon sect sneered and stepped forward. Stop. One more step and I'll kill him. Lu Ming grabbed Mo Yang's neck and said coldly as he retreated. Since you don't believe me, then I'll make it public. The Tianyu demon sect is a remnant of evil spirit cult. At the bottom of the demon mountain, there's a disciplined king of evil spirit cult. There are also people from the intentionless saber sect hiding in the Tianyu demon sect. Lu Ming retreated as he spoke, his voice reverberating throughout the entire venue. As soon as he said that, the entire place fell silent. Many people's eyes widened in shock as they looked at the sect master of the Sky Demon sect. Tianyu demonic sect was actually evil spirit religion's remnant. Was that for real? Boom. The sect master of the Tianxin sect glowed with holy light as he looked at the sect master of the Sky Demon sect coldly. Is Lu Ming's words true? Nonsense. How could you believe such a clumsy plan to sow discord? The Sky Demon sect master said coldly, his face extremely gloomy. The sect master of the Tianxin sect's expression kept changing. Perhaps this was really Lu Ming's plan to sow discord. If I want to verify whether it's true or not, I just have to search Mo Yang's soul again on the spot and project the images in his memories. Wouldn't that make things clear? Everyone, do you want to see it? That's very exciting. Lu Ming smiled. Then he lifted Mo Yang up and pointed at the space between his eyebrows, as if he was going to search his soul again. What do you want to do? If you want to harm Yang, you're courting death. The sect master of the Sky Demon sect bellowed as he swiped his claw out. A gigantic demonic claw formed and swiped at Lu Ming. The demonic claw emitted a terrifying engine. It wanted to kill Lu Ming and Mo Yang together and destroy the evidence. Whoosh! High in the sky, a dazzling sword light slashed down, splitting the demonic claw in half. The sword light converged and a figure appeared beside Lu Ming. It was the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. What's wrong? You want to silence me, afraid that your evil spirit religion will be exposed? The Cloud Dragon Valley Master said. Wuxia, you're here. Everyone, let's attack together and kill them. Then, destroy Dragon God Valley. The sect master of the Sky Demon sect shouted. I think we should first search Mo Yang's soul and see what's going on. The sect master of the Heavenly God sect said coldly. Although he really wanted to kill Lu Ming and the Cloud Dragon Valley Master, he could only put Lu Ming aside for the time being when it came to the evil spirit cult. If the Tianyu demonic sect was really evil spirit's remnant, and what Lu Ming said was true, then the matter would be serious. It was obvious that the Tianyu demon sect was using them as a tool to incite internal strife in the Tsang region. If they were not careful, the Tianxin sect would be destroyed. Such a big matter had to be cleared up first. That's right. They'll search their souls first. If Lu Ming's words are false, it won't be too late to kill them then. The Jiuxiao Sword sect leader said. The Grandmaster of the Sky Demon sect's expression changed. Then he said coldly, all right, let them search our souls. Well, kill them after we've proven the Sky Demon sect's innocence. Lu Ming searched their souls. The Grandmaster of the Sky Demon sect retreated, and his expression returned to normal. He had a clear conscience. All right, Master, you can search his soul and project the image. Lu Ming said to Cloud Dragon Valley Master as he mentioned Mo Yang. All right. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master nodded and reached out to touch Mo Yang's forehead. Do it. At this moment, the sect master of the Sky Demon sect suddenly roared and attacked. He struck his palm at the sect master of the Tianxin sect beside him. At the same time, countless people in the crowd made their moves. Terrifying attacks were launched at the people around them. The sect master of the Tianxin sect, was shocked. At the critical moment, he used all his strength to block the attack of the sect master of the Sky Demon sect. However, he was forced to retreat and spit out a mouthful of blood. In his haste, it was difficult for him to completely block the other party's attack. The sect master of the Heavenly God sect was more alert, while those who were less alert were directly killed. At the scene, a series of miserable screams rang out. Ah! An unwilling roar resounded throughout the heaven and earth within the Tianxin sect. This roar came from another absolute saint of the Heavenly God sect. This time there were two absolute saints from the Heavenly God sect. Beside him, the Tower Master of the Blood Demon Tower launched an attack on him. The terrifying sword light directly shattered his saint heart. The sword light burst forth, and the Supreme Saint Expert of the Tianxin sect died. In addition, the Yudu sect's experts also attacked the Evil Moon sect and Jiuxiao Sword sect's experts. The Evil Moon sect's sect master was severely injured, but fortunately he reacted in time and was not killed. In that instant, many experts from the three sects were killed. Blood Demon Tower, Desire Poison sect, you are all traitors. The Heavenly God sect's sect master roared. Lu Ming is right. You are indeed evil spirits' remnants. The Grandmaster of the Jiuxiao Sword sect roared. They had suffered a great loss just now. Ever since Lu Ming said that the Tianyu demonic sect was evil spirit religion's remnant, they had more or less developed a sense of wariness against the Tianyu demonic sect. However, he had never expected that the Desire Poison sect and the Blood Demon Tower were actually birds of a feather. They've finally made their move. Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile. This was his plan. He would use the excuse of searching Mo Yang's soul to extort the Tianyu demonic sect. The plan was very successful, and the sect master of the Sky Demon sect did not dare to take the risk. However, he had not expected that the Blood Demon Tower and the Desire Poison sect were actually birds of a feather. Kill them all. The sect master of the Sky Demon sect shouted. His voice was extremely cold as he launched a storm of attacks at the sect master of the Heavenly God sect. The forces of the three major sects, the Tianxin sect, the Jiuxiao Sword sect, and the Evil Moon sect, had originally been very strong. They were not weaker than the Tianyu Demon sect, the Blood Demon Tower, and the Yudu sect. However, they had just been ambushed. One of the Divine sect's absolute saints was killed, the Evil Moon sect's sect master was severely injured, and the other absolute saint of the Jiuxiao Sword sect was also severely injured. They were in great danger. The only one who could maintain his peak combat strength was the sect leader of the Jiuxiao Sword sect. As for the great saints and bright saints, they had suffered even more losses. The situation was extremely unfavorable. Kill. At this time, a large number of figures rushed out from another demon mountain, killing their way over. The intentionless Saber sect is indeed here. There are also people from Evil Spirit. There are 4 absolute saints. Someone cried out in alarm, revealing a look of despair. One could tell that there were 2 groups of people among the people who rushed out. One group was from the intentionless Saber sect, led by 2 absolute saints. The other group was dressed in black robes and should be experts from Evil Spirit. The 2 people leading them were also absolute saints. The people of the 3 sects, the Heavenly God sect, the Jiuxiao Sword sect, and the Evil Moon sect, looked desperate. Ming, take care of yourself. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master said to Lu Ming. Then he wielded his sword and charged at the Evil Spirit cultivators. A dragon's roar was heard, and the Ice Dragon Patriarch appeared. His huge dragon claws grabbed at the 2 absolute saints of the intentionless Saber sect. Chapter 1728. 1728 Lu Ming beheads an absolute saint, the Ice Dragon Patriarch of Dragon God Valley. The expressions of the 2 powerhouses from the intentionless Saber sect changed drastically. They slashed out terrifying saber lights towards the Ice Dragon Old Ancestor. Whoosh! A black and white sword chi cut through the void and slashed at the Tower Master of Blood Demon Tower. Then with a loud roar, a divine Sun Lion appeared. The Valley Master of Ice Dragon Valley also appeared and joined the battle. Although the Deity sect and the other major sects had previously discussed about destroying Dragon God Valley, they couldn't just leave them in the lurch. If the experts of the Deity sect, Jiuxiao Sword sect, and Evil Moon sect all died here, the remaining forces in the Azure region would be greatly weakened. This was exactly what Evil Spirit wanted. They had to join forces to deal with Evil Spirit. The scene was in a chaotic battle. Many absolute saints flew into the sky and started fighting. The battle between absolute saints was too terrifying. The overflowing chi could kill great saints and bright saints, not to mention those below the saint realm. They all had disciples below. If they fought with all their strength below, the disciples of both sides would die. The absolute saints flew into the sky and fought. The others below were fighting and screams kept coming. Little Qing, it's in that demon mountain. Lu Ming's eyes swept across the area. According to the images he saw in Mo Yang's memories, his gaze landed on the place where many sects had gathered. Xian Yanqing was imprisoned under the demon mountain. The soul of evil spirit's blood demon master was also below. Lu Ming stepped forward. He had a saint weapon around him and a sword in his hand. With one slash he killed a saint of the Tianyu demonic sect. Then he killed another saint of the Yudu sect with one strike. After killing a few people, Lu Ming did not linger in the battle. He used the thundering wind steps and his figure flickered as he headed towards the demon mountain. Lu Ming die. With a loud roar, a middle-aged brawny man charged at Lu Ming with a demonic blade in his hand. His aura was extremely shocking. This was a great saint. He was even more powerful than the burly elder who had fought with Lu Ming previously. Lu Ming waved his sword and slashed with all his might. Clang. The other party's saber gleam directly crushed Lu Ming's sword gleam and slashed at Lu Ming's combat sword. Lu Ming felt an unstoppable force surging towards him. He retreated continuously, his chi and blood churning, and a mouthful of blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. Great Sage Great Mastery. This was an expert in the Great Sage Great Mastery realm. He was extremely powerful and Lu Ming was no match for him. Cripple him first. After the battle is over, well, force out his secret. A few more people appeared in front of Lu Ming. They were all great saints. One of them was the burly elder who had fought with Lu Ming earlier. His eyes were cold. There were a total of 4 great saints. Lu Ming could not possibly defeat them. The 4 great saints' auras exploded and pressed down on Lu Ming. Since you're looking for death, I'll fulfill your wish. Lu Ming said coldly. The holy weapons around him flew into his body and disappeared. A large halberd appeared in his hand. Reincarnation halberd. Zhen Yuan poured into the reincarnation halberd. A beam of energy was activated, and a layer of black light appeared on the halberd. You still want to kill us? Die. The middle-aged man slashed at Lu Ming again. Kill? Lu Ming held the reincarnation halberd and slashed with all his might. With a clang, the battle saber in the middle-aged man's hand was directly cut into 2 by the reincarnation halberd. The reincarnation halberd did not stop. With one slash, the middle-aged man's body was split in half from the middle. A great sage expert had fallen. The other 3 supreme saints were almost scared to death. That was a great saint, but he was killed by Lu Ming's halberd. Even the demonic blade of the great saint weapon was cut in half. How could this be? Retreat, retreat. There was only one thought in their minds and that was to retreat. The further away they were from Lu Ming, the better. It's too late to leave now. Kill. Lu Ming shouted and slashed with the reincarnation halberd. A dark light flashed and the 3 great saints' bodies stiffened. Their eyes popped out and they looked horrified. Then, their bodies were torn into pieces and their souls were destroyed. 3 supreme saints were killed in one move. The other people nearby were scared out of their wits. They retreated frantically and kept their distance from Lu Ming. Lu Ming stepped forward and continued to walk toward the demon mountain. Along the way, there were hundreds of people from the intentionless saber sect and evil spirit sect who were in the middle. They were directly killed by Lu Ming's halberd, and hundreds of people were killed in an instant. Lu Ming was bathed in blood, looking like a demonic god as he came to the demonic mountain. Open it. Lu Ming held the reincarnation halberd with both hands and raised it high. The reincarnation halberd enlarged rapidly and then hacked down heavily at the demon mountain. This halberd was like the halberd of a god. As it slashed down, the huge palace on the demon mountain directly exploded. Boom, boom, boom. Under the reincarnation halberd, the towering demon mountain was split into 2 with a loud noise. Huge rocks flew everywhere as if doomsday had arrived. The demon mountain was split open, revealing the underground cave under the mountain. Who is it? And NBSP, a sharp sound reverberated through the sky. In the underground cave, blood mist gathered and formed a giant face. Xian Yanqing sat there, motionless, as if he was unaware of what was happening outside. Little Qing. Lu Ming's heart trembled. He did not expect to see Xian Yanqing again in such a place and under such circumstances. The Tianyu demonic sect and evil spirit cult must be destroyed and killed. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with a layer of blood red, and his killing intent was extremely strong. "Brat, you're looking for death, die." A loud shout was heard. An elder in a black robe rushed out of the underground cave. Demonic chi surged from his body, and his aura was extremely terrifying. This was an absolute saint. The Jianghu demonic sect had specially called for a supreme saint to guard this underground cave. "Kill him." The giant face formed by the blood demon king shrieked. "Die." The Jianghu demonic sect's absolute saint's demonic aura soared to the sky as he clawed at Lu Ming. The terrifying demonic claw was larger than a mountain. Even an expert in the Great Sage Great Perfection realm would be killed by this claw, let alone a Ming sage. However, Lu Ming's expression did not change. He was still cold and indifferent. He stepped forward and said in a cold voice, "You're the one who's going to die." The reincarnation halberd enlarged and slashed out. The demonic claw formed by the Jianghu demonic sect's absolute saint was directly split apart. The reincarnation halberd did not stop and continued to slash at the Jianghu demonic sect's absolute saint. How is that possible? The sky demon sect's absolute saint's eyes widened. He realized that he had been completely locked onto by the reincarnation halberd. It was as if there was a reincarnation power that made it impossible for him to dodge. He could only take it head-on. He roared and struck out with his palms. In an instant he struck out hundreds of palm prints. The hundreds of palm prints merged and formed a giant demonic palm print, which smashed towards the reincarnation halberd. However, it was all in vain. As the reincarnation halberd slashed down, the demonic palm print collapsed. The reincarnation halberd slashed at the Jianghu demon sect's absolute saint with unparalleled power. The absolute saint let out a blood-curdling scream that reverberated throughout the entire Jianghu demon sect. Then he was cut in half by Lu Ming, and his soul was annihilated. An absolute saint had died. Chapter 1729. 1729 The confrontation between souls. This scene was seen by everyone present, and it made their hearts tremble. This was especially so for the people from the Sky Demon sect and the Yudu sect. They were almost scared to death. An absolute saint was killed by Lu Ming's halberd. How did Lu Ming have such powerful strength? Damn it, damn it. How can this little bastard control such a terrifying power? The Grandmaster of the Sky Demon sect was the most shocked. He kept screaming in his heart and his face was twisted. Ah, good kill. Evil spirits' remnants are destined to be destroyed again. The Valley Master laughed, and his sword light was like a dragon, forcing an evil spirit absolute saint to retreat. How is that possible? The Blood Demon Master's giant face also screamed. Blood Demon King, I'll kill you now. Lu Ming held the reincarnation halberd and charged at the Blood Demon Queen. The reincarnation halberd could kill anyone below the Emperor level. Although the Blood Demon King was an Emperor level expert at his peak, he was only left with a wisp of soul, so he could still be killed. Damn it, a bunch of trash. I can only take over his body now. The Blood Demon Master roared and turned into a ray of blood light, rushing into Xian Yanking's forehead. Not good. Lu Ming's expression changed and he rushed towards Xian Yanqing. Little Qing, wake up. Lu Ming shouted, but it was useless. Xian Yanqing did not wake up. Moreover, Xian Yanking's body was covered in a layer of blood light. Her body trembled slightly and her face showed pain. Lu Ming was extremely anxious. Clearly, the Blood Demon King was trying to possess Xian Yanqing. He wanted to destroy Xian Yanking's spiritual will and replace him. Lu Ming would never let such a thing happen. Let's go all out. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with determination. He took a step forward and activated the Array Dao Law. Countless runes appeared on the ground. Runes were not inscriptions, they were of a higher level. Only those who had comprehended the power of laws could release them. A large array enveloped Lu Ming and he sat down cross-legged. The space between his brows glowed and a small person appeared. It was Lu Ming's soul. Lu Ming's soul rushed to Xian Yanking's glabella and entered it. The next moment, Lu Ming's soul appeared in a vast land. This place was Xian Yanking's Sea of Consciousness. The moment Lu Ming entered, he saw Xian Yanking's figure. At this moment, Xian Yanqing was surrounded by a cloud of blood-red mist. Little Qing. Lu Ming roared and rushed over. Xian Yanking's figure wasn't his soul. He hadn't broken through to the Saint Plane yet, so he hadn't condensed his soul. It was his spiritual will. One spiritual will could project a physical form in one sea of consciousness. It was just like how Lu Ming could project a physical form in his own sea of consciousness a long time ago. However, it was impossible for his soul to enter other people's sea of consciousness like Lu Ming. Once one spiritual will broke through to the saint realm, it would form a soul. If the Blood Demon King refined Xian Yanqing's spiritual will, it would be equivalent to Xian Yanqing disappearing from the world. Lu Ming! Xian Yanqing exclaimed. He did not expect Lu Ming to come to her sea of consciousness. Blood Demon King die. Lu Ming turned into a ray of light and rushed toward the Blood Demon King. With a swing of his palm, the law of chaos circulated and slashed at the Blood Demon King's soul. Nomological laws were grasped after one had comprehended them. They borrowed the laws of heaven and earth and not one's own energy. Therefore the soul could also use the laws. Brat, you're looking for death, die. The Blood Demon Queen shouted coldly and condensed into a human form. It was the form of an old woman. She stretched out her withered claws and grabbed at Lu Ming. Bang! Lu Ming's palm struck the Blood Demon King's claw. He immediately felt a terrifying force surge over, as if it was going to tear his arm apart. Lu Ming's figure retreated rapidly. The chaos laws circulated continuously and finally obliterated this force. Although the Blood Demon King was only a wisp of his soul, he was an emperor-level existence at his peak. His foundation was too strong and Lu Ming could not match him at all. Even though Lu Ming's soul force was already equivalent to a supreme saint, it was useless. Brat, not only will you not be able to save this little girl today, even you will have to stay here. The Blood Demon Queen sneered and floated toward Lu Ming. Her withered claws continued to claw at Lu Ming. Godly sword technique. Lu Ming had an idea. He circulated the divine sword technique. His entire body turned into a sword of the soul, and slashed at the Blood Demon King. It's actually a soul-destroying divine sword technique. It's a pity that your soul power is too weak. The Blood Demon Queen sneered. Her claws grabbed the soul spirit battle sword that Lu Ming had transformed into. A sound of metal clashing was heard and the soul spirit battle sword was sent flying. Buzz! The soul spirit sword transformed back into Lu Ming. In a flash, Lu Ming appeared beside Xian Yanqing. Little Qing, are you alright? Lu Ming looked at Xian Yanqing worriedly. I'm fine. Lu Ming, why are you here? Leave quickly, leave this place quickly. Xian Yanqing said anxiously. Silly girl, what nonsense are you saying? If you're in danger, why would I leave? If I have to die today, I'll die with you. Lu Ming said, his voice full of tenderness. Then I'll send you on your way and let you two be a pair of mandarin ducks sharing the same fate. The Blood Demon Queen sneered and attacked the two of them, clawing at them. This is my sea of consciousness. Get out. Xian Yanqing shouted. Her spiritual will glowed, and a terrifying fluctuation spread toward the Blood Demon Master. The evil spirit Discipline King's eyes revealed a grave expression. His two claws continuously struck out, breaking that invisible fluctuation. It wasn't easy to possess someone. Just like Xian Yanqing said, this was her sea of consciousness. In her sea of consciousness, Xian Yanqing was able to unleash a terrifying power to destroy foreign souls. Therefore, the Blood Demon Master had always wanted to devour and refine more souls to strengthen his own soul before he began to possess Xian Yanqing. But now she was forced to start the possession in advance. Kill? Lu Ming continued to cast the divine sword technique and transformed into a divine sword. He cooperated with Xian Yanqing to fight against the Blood Demon Master. Meanwhile, the battle outside was getting more and more intense. A large number of experts had fallen here forever, their blood staining the entire demon mountain. The sect master of the Sky Demon sect looked anxious when he saw Lu Ming's soul enter Xian Yanqing's body. You guys go and kill Lu Ming. Hurry. The sect master of the Sky Demon sect shouted. A few great saints immediately pounced on Lu Ming. You're looking for death. With a long roar, the sword light broke through the sky and two supreme saints were killed instantly. With a flash of sword light, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master appeared beside Lu Ming, holding his sword to block the attack. Kill. We must kill Lu Ming and let the Shakyamuni successfully possess him. The sect master of the Sky Demon sect shrieked. All of this involved her future. If the Blood Demon King succeeded, she would have a chance to become a great emperor in the future. She must not be ruined by Lu Ming. The sect master of the Sky Demon sect used all his strength to force his opponent to retreat before charging towards the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. At the same time, the other two Absolute Saints also rushed toward the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. At that moment, two more Absolute Saints appeared on Evil Spirit's side. Evil Spirit had the advantage of Absolute Saints. Chapter 1730. 1730 Killing Emperor's Soul on Evil Spirit Cult side. There were already 11 Absolute Saints, including the three major sects, Tianyu Demonic Sect, Yudu Sect, and Blood Demon Tower. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the others had originally come with 5 people. In addition to the Absolute Saints from the Tianxin Sect, the Evil Moon Sect, and the Jiuxiao Sword Sect, there were 9 people in total. However, 2 of them had been seriously injured by the sneak attack. The situation was not in the Cloud Dragon Valley Master's favor. 9 appearances of Cloud Dragon. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master kept slashing out with his sword. The sword light turned into 9 Cloud Dragons that flew out and blocked the Absolute Saints in the air. However, the Absolute Saints attacked and defeated the Cloud Dragon. Although the Cloud Dragon Valley Master was strong, he was only one person. It would be difficult for him to stop the joint forces of several people. Kill! Kill! A few Absolute Saints shouted. They controlled laws and used their superpowers to form a terrifying offensive power that poured towards the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. There were also some with terrifying combat power that was not much weaker than the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. With a dragon roar, the Ice Dragon Patriarch rushed over with a terrifying cold current. He sent an Absolute Saint flying with one move and almost froze him. Get lost! The Ice Dragon roared and struck out with its claws. The other 2 Absolute Saints were also forced back. The Ice Dragon Patriarch and the Cloud Dragon Valley Master stood together to protect Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing. Charge! The Sect Master of the Sky Demon Sect shrieked. At least 5 Absolute Saints charged toward Lu Ming. However, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the Ice Dragon Patriarch didn't want to make any mistakes, so they guarded the area tightly. The other party couldn't get past them for a while. In Xian Yanqing's Sea of Consciousness, the battle had already entered a state of white heat. The Blood Demon Patriarch was an Emperor-level powerhouse after all. Even with his soul fragment, he was still terrifying. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing were no match for him. They were surrounded by the Blood Demon Patriarch in a bloody light. The blood-red light contained the power of laws. She wanted to refine Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing together. Your fate has already been decided. Just accept your fate. The Blood Demon King let out a sharp laugh. A bloody mist filled the air. Lu Ming felt a tearing pain in his soul. Xian Yanqing's spiritual will trembled as if it could not withstand it anymore. Little Qing. Lu Ming was unwilling to give up. His soul turned into a long sword and slashed at the blood mist around him. Unfortunately, as the battle continued, Lu Ming's soul force became weaker and weaker. It was already difficult for him to cause fatal damage to the Blood Demon King. Struggle with all your might. This is your last chance. The Blood Demon Queen laughed. She seemed to enjoy the process of Lu Ming and the rest struggling. At that moment, Lu Ming's spine emitted a blood-red light. Then the prison-suppressing steel bloodline emerged. With a whoosh, the prison-suppressing steel's bloodline rushed into Xian Yanqing's glabella and entered his sea of consciousness. But as soon as it arrived in Xian Yanqing's consciousness, the prison-suppressing steel changed rapidly like a mountain. The 2 words, prison steel, below it gave off a brilliant light and pressed down on the Blood Demon Master. Prison-suppressing steel, how is that possible? The Blood Demon King shrieked. Boom. Under the suppression of the prison-suppressing steel, the Blood Demon King let out a scream. The blood mist rolled and formed an old woman's body again. Her face was full of shock and horror. But the prison-suppressing steel grew larger and larger. The 2 words seemed to have infinite power, and once again pressed down on the Blood Demon King. The Blood Demon Queen screamed and retreated quickly, but it was useless. She seemed to have been locked by the prison-suppressing steel and had nowhere to escape. Boom. This time, the Blood Demon King's body directly exploded. Balls of soul power were obliterated by the power of the prison-suppressing steel. When the Blood Demon King gathered together again, her body had shrunk a lot, and she looked dispirited. However, the prison-suppressing steel obviously had no intention of letting her go. It pressed down again. The Blood Demon Master screamed in fear. She was going crazy. She never dreamed that the prison-suppressing steel would appear here. The prison-suppressing steel was the nemesis of her clan. Boom. This time the Blood Demon King was even more miserable. His form was directly shattered, and after a roll, it was difficult for him to reform. At this moment, a black crystal appeared in Xian Yanqing's consciousness. It emitted a terrifying devouring power and was about to devour the Blood Demon King's soul. It's my world core, Xian Yanqing said. Lu Ming's expression changed. He controlled the prison-suppressing steel and it flew back to his head. Don't. The Blood Demon King kept screaming as if he was extremely frightened. However, there were still balls of soul energy that were absorbed by the world core. Lu Ming recognized it. The world core at this moment was what he had obtained in the core of the Divine Ruins continent back then. He had thought that it was a saint's heart, but now it seemed that it was a world core left behind by an emperor-level powerhouse. The soul energy of the Blood Demon King was continuously devoured by the world core. In the end, only a black shadow was left, constantly twisting and struggling. At this moment Lu Ming was shocked. This was because the black shadow that had appeared at the end did not look like a human at all. Although it had the form of a human, it was extremely strange. It was like a shadow and there was an eye in the middle of its brows. It had a total of 3 eyes. Lu Ming was reminded of the three-eyed god race and the terrifying creature that fought the Titan Bull. It also had 3 eyes. What was the connection between all these? Could it be that this black shadow was the true body of the Blood Demon King? At that moment, the prison-suppressing steel was not under Lu Ming's control. It flew out of his body and pressed down on the black shadow. No! The black shadow screamed in fear, but under the prison-suppressing steel, the black shadow exploded and turned into ashes. The remnant soul of the Blood Demon Master was finally crushed to death by the prison-suppressing steel. Lu Ming heaved a long sigh of relief. Lu Ming, I'm going to cultivate in seclusion. At this moment, Xian Yanqing spoke. The world core seemed to have absorbed the Blood Demon King's soul energy and had undergone a change. Alright, you can go into seclusion. They'll protect you, Lu Ming said. Xian Yanqing nodded. The next moment, her spiritual will disappeared. Lu Ming, on the other hand, left Xian Yanqing's sea of consciousness with the prison-suppressing steel and returned to his body. As soon as he returned to his body, Lu Ming heard a loud boom. He turned around and saw the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the Ice Dragon Patriarch fighting 5 absolute saints. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the Ice Dragon Patriarch were barely able to resist the 5 absolute saints, but they didn't take a step back. Instead, they stood firmly in front of them. Kill? Lu Ming shouted and strode forward with the reincarnation halberd in his hand. Lu Ming, did you succeed? Asked the Ice Dragon Patriarch. It's a success. The Blood Demon Master has been killed. Lu Ming's voice spread throughout the entire area, causing many people to be shocked. Impossible. The Grandmaster of the Sky Demon sect started to scream like a madman. With the Blood Demon King's death, her years of hard work would be in vain. Her face was distorted. Chapter 1731. 1731 Yanqing breaks through the Saint Realm. Nothing is impossible. Kill. Die. Lu Ming shouted. He held the reincarnation halberd with both hands and slashed forward. This attack was aimed at an extremely powerful absolute saint. This person's combat power wasn't much weaker than the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. If he wanted to kill, he had to kill the strongest. The reincarnation halberd was like the halberd of the heavenly god. As it slashed down, there was no way to stop it. The absolute saint let out an unwilling roar, and his body was turned into ashes by the reincarnation halberd. Nothing was left. The other 4 absolute saints were shocked. They didn't dare to stay any longer. They all retreated frantically, afraid that Lu Ming would kill them with his halberd. There was a look of pity in Lu Ming's eyes. The energy was used up. There were 2 streams of energy in the halberd. The one that had been used earlier had been used up, especially to kill an absolute saint. Now there was only 1 energy left in the halberd. However, there were still 10 absolute saints. Even if he used the last bit of energy, he wouldn't be able to kill all of them. Kill? Lu Ming only hesitated for a moment before he stepped forward with the reincarnation halberd in his hand. He didn't release that burst of energy. That energy was to be used at a critical moment. However, the others did not know that Lu Ming had no energy left. When they saw Lu Ming approaching, they were scared out of their wits and retreated continuously. Haha, kill. The Ice Dragon Patriarch laughed heartily. Together with the Cloud Dragon Valley Master, they followed Lu Ming and charged forward. Wherever they passed, the evil spirit cultivators, regardless of their cultivation levels, all retreated frantically. Lu Ming was too terrifying. No matter what cultivation level they were at, they would be killed in one strike with the halberd in his hand. It was the same even for absolute saints. They were completely undefeatable. Whoever went up against them would die. Then Lu Ming walked toward the sect master of the Sky Demon sect. The sect master's expression changed. He used all his strength to force his opponent back and retreated frantically. Why are you retreating? Didn't you want to kill me? Lu Ming sneered and glared at the sect master of the Sky Demon sect. The sect master of the Sky Demon sect glared at Lu Ming coldly. She wanted nothing more than to cut him into pieces. However, she did not dare to fight, afraid that Lu Ming would kill her with his halberd. Gather, gather. The Grandmaster of the Sky Demon sect roared, and the experts from evil spirits started to gather together. There were 10 absolute saints standing at the forefront, and their combined auras were earth-shattering. However, Lu Ming held the reincarnation halberd and stepped forward. The other party was shocked and retreated. One man and one halberd forced the 10 absolute saints and many other great beings to step back. This scene was so shocking that many people would never forget it for the rest of their lives. Lu Ming, you're just relying on external items. I can kill you with one slap if I rely on my real abilities. The sect master of the Sky Demon sect said coldly. Haha, relying on external items? How laughable. How many years have you been cultivating? How old are you? If you were the same age as me, I could blow you to death with a single breath. Lu Ming laughed out loud, his laughter filled with disdain. The sect master of the Sky Demon sect had an ugly expression on his face, but he could not refute. You'll die sooner or later if you stop evil spirit. No one can stop evil spirit from rising. Let's go. The sect master of the Sky Demon sect and the others slowly retreated. Old hag, you don't want your disciple anymore? Lu Ming took out the Mo Yang sword and continued, I forgot to tell you. I did search Mo Yang's soul. However, his soul was destroyed by the power of the restriction. Now he has become an idiot. What? Ah. You dare to trick me? The Grandmaster of the Sky Demon sect shrieked, his face contorted in anger. She knew that she had been deceived by Lu Ming. Previously, Lu Ming had said that he would search Mo Yang's soul in public and project the image. However, that was completely fake. He was lying to her. His purpose was to trick her into taking action. Otherwise, she could have used the power of the Tianxin sect and the other sects to destroy Dragon God Valley first, then the Demon Castle and the Life and Death Sword sect. Finally, she could have laid a trap and suddenly attacked the Tianxin sect and the other sections. In that way, the Azure region would have fallen completely into their control. Moreover, the Blood Demon Master could also successfully possess the body, and everything would be perfect. But now, everything had changed. It was because of Lu Ming that she was tricked into making a move in advance. Everything had changed because of this. At that moment, the sect master's face was twisted like a demon. Let's go. The Grandmaster of the Sky Demon sect roared and turned to leave. The rest of the evil spirit cultivators also retreated and disappeared. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master and company did not pursue. They were already at a disadvantage, so even if they pursued, they would not be able to keep the other party. At this moment, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the others looked at the sect master of the Tianxin sect with an unfriendly expression. The expression of the sect master of the Heavenly God sect changed drastically. His figure flashed and retreated to the distance. What do you want? The first thing we have to deal with now is evil spirit. If we have an internal conflict, evil spirit will only become the dominant force. Hee, what's the rush? We didn't say we were going to kill you. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master sneered. Then the Cloud Dragon Valley Master looked around and said, Everyone, let's go back and inform the other sects in the Azure continent to join forces to find the lair of evil spirit and destroy them in one fell swoop. What do you think? I was thinking the same thing. The Lord of Demon Castle said. His huge eyes swept across the experts of Jiuxiao Sword sect and Evil Moon sect. What do you all think? Annihilating evil spirit is our top priority. I have the same intention. The Jiuxiao Sword sect leader said. Then the sect master of the Evil Moon sect also nodded. In the end, everyone's eyes turned to the sect master of the Heavenly God sect. My Heavenly God sect will naturally fight to annihilate evil spirit cult. The sect master of the Heavenly God sect said. Alright, it's decided then. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the others nodded. Farewell. After the sect master of the Heavenly God sect finished speaking, he left with the remaining people of the Heavenly God sect. In this battle, the Tianxin sect had suffered heavy losses. An absolute saint had died and the other experts had also suffered heavy losses. Their strength had been greatly reduced. The Jiuxiao Sword sect and the Evil Moon sect were slightly better off. Their absolute saints didn't die, but they had also lost many powerful figures of other levels. Everyone farewell. We'll meet again in the future. The sect leader of the Jiuxiao Sword sect also left with his sect members, and so did the Evil Moon sect. In an instant, apart from the corpses strewn all over the ground, only Lu Ming and a few others were left in the huge Sky Demon sect. Lu Ming returned to Xian Yanqing's side. Xian Yanqing was still sitting cross-legged, but there was a demonic aura around her. This little girl is about to break through to the Saint Realm. The Ice Dragon Patriarch appeared beside Lu Ming and said. Lu Ming nodded. The few of you return to your respective sects first. Join forces with the other sects in the Tsang region and make arrangements to annihilate evil spirit. Lu Ming and I will stay here and wait for this girl to break through. The Ice Dragon Patriarch said to the Ice Dragon Valley Master, the Life and Death Sword Sect Master and the others. Everyone nodded. In the end, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master also stayed, while the Life and Death Sword Sect Master, Demon Castle's Castle Master, and Ice Dragon Valley Master left and returned to their respective sects to begin planning the annihilation of evil spirit. Chapter 1732 Chapter 1732 Suppressing Evil Spirit. After half a month, Xian Yanqing finally broke through to the martial Saint Realm. After that, Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing, the Ice Dragon Patriarch, and the Valley Master of Cloud Dragon Valley returned to Dragon God Valley. Lu Ming heard a lot of news as soon as he returned to Dragon God Valley. In the past half a month, news of the battle at the Tianyu demonic sect had spread throughout the Azure continent, shocking the world. After that, Dragon God Valley, Life and Death Sword Sect, Demon Castle, and other sects gathered all the major sects in the Tsang state to join forces and annihilate the evil spirit cult. For a time many responded. The Heavenly God Sect, Jiuxiao Sword Sect, and the Evil Moon Sect responded one after another, joining the Alliance army to fight against evil spirit. After that, the Heaven King Palace, Linglong Palace and Piyuan family, who had always been neutral, also joined the alliance. At this point, the 9 great sects of the Azure continent had joined forces, and with the addition of other small and medium-sized powers, their strength was immense. During this period, the various sects had continuously sent out experts to investigate evil spirit's hiding place, preparing to destroy it in one fell swoop. Another half a month passed and they finally found out where evil spirit was hiding. It was in a barren land north of the Azure continent. In a short time, the experts of the various large sects in the Azure continent gathered in the north. The Jiuxiao Sword Sect was in the north, and the various superpowers gathered outside the mountain gate of the Jiuxiao Sword Sect. Dragon God Valley was led by the Ice Dragon Patriarch and the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. They led a large number of experts to battle, while the Ice Dragon Valley Master guarded Dragon God Valley. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing also set off with the army and joined the army. In Cloud Dragon Valley, second senior brother Longyuan Shan stayed behind to hold the fort. Tian Chui and Xue Ningxin's cultivations were still weak, so they did not bring them along. As for Yang Qianzong, Lu Ming's fourth and fifth senior brothers, who were all saints, they would fight together. After a few days they arrived outside the Jiuxiao Sword Sect. Many people had gathered outside the Jiuxiao Sword Sect. They were all experts from various sections. Even the weakest of them was a high-level martial royal realm expert. What was worth mentioning was that Bubble seemed to have gone into seclusion a few days ago. She had transformed into a ball of white light and enveloped herself like a cocoon. Lu Ming knew that Bubbles was about to break through. Lu Ming was secretly happy too. If Bubbles broke through to the Sage State with the space-time law, its power would be even more shocking. Outside the Jiuxiao Sword Sect, more and more people gathered. After a few days, all 9 top sects had arrived. This time each top sect sent 2 absolute saints. The 9 top sects added up to 18 absolute saints. In addition, there were even more supreme saints and light saints. Such a powerful force gathered together could sweep away all the sects in the Azure continent. In addition to half-saints and high-level martial royal realm experts, there were tens of thousands of them. All of them were elites, and more than half of the experts in the Azure continent were gathered here. Let's go. The Grandmaster of the Jiuxiao Sword Sect hollered before taking the lead and flying north. Jiuxiao Sword Sect was located in the north and was the most familiar with the geography of the area. Hence he asked Jiuxiao Sword Sect to lead the way. Tens of thousands of experts swept across the world with their terrifying auras. Lu Ming was secretly shocked. It was amazing that so many experts had gathered. If they joined forces, no one could stop them except for Emperor-level experts. Very quickly they flew into a vast mountain range. Furthermore, the further they went, the more barren the terrain became. Slowly, a thick fog appeared in front of them. Everyone perked up and raised their guard. The Absolute Saint stood outside to prevent any sneak attacks. He continued forward and flew for about 1,000 miles. There's someone in front. Suddenly someone shouted. Boom. Boom. Everyone's aura exploded as they took a defensive stance and looked forward. A large group of figures appeared in front of them. At the very front were the sect master of the Sky Demon sect, the Yudu sect master, and the other absolute saints. There had only been 10 absolute saints when they had retreated last time. Now there were 2 more, making a total of 12 absolute saints. The absolute saints from the alliance also flashed and appeared at the front. The people from both sides stopped and faced each other. It seemed like Evil Spirit knew that they were coming and had already gathered their powerhouses to wait for them. Evil Spirit religion's remnants must be exterminated. The sect leader of the Life and Death Sword sect said coldly. On his body there were 2 colors, black and white, which were constantly moving. They were wisps of sword chi. What a joke. Evil Spirit will eventually rule the Azure region and even a wider territory. Those who are enemies with my Evil Spirit will all die. The sect master of the Sky Demon sect said coldly. Her eyes fell on Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing, and her expression was ferocious. You're talking big. Today we'll destroy Evil Spirit. An absolute saint from the Evil Moon sect stepped out. He was covered in dark moonlight and looked terrifying. This person had been heavily injured by the sneak attack on the Tianyu demonic sect last time. He had recovered recently and hated the Tianyu demonic sect and the Yudu sect to the core. He couldn't help but attack. Bang, bang. The other absolute saints also stepped out, shaking the ground. A mere lower-tier absolute saint. Kill? Stop. At this moment a loud shout rang out. It did not come from any of the other party, but from behind the Evil Spirit group. Then a middle-aged man in a purple and gold robe stepped into the air. This person was wearing a jade crown and was filled with a noble aura, like an emperor of the mortal world. In his hand was a golden battle sword like the sword of an emperor. He slashed out, and a golden sword light slashed toward the expert from the Evil Moon sect. This sword chi was boundless and extremely terrifying. Its vast pressure made many people have the urge to worship it and not resist. Absolute Saint in the Great Circle. The Absolute Saint from the Evil Moon sect roared in disbelief and tried to block it. Endless moonlight rose up to block it. However, it was all in vain. The sword light shattered the moonlight, and the terrifying sword light cut into the body of the Evil Moon sect Absolute Saint. The Evil Moon sect Absolute Saint's body froze. His eyes were wide and filled with shock. Then, a bloody gash appeared on his glabella, and his body was split apart from the middle. Everyone was shocked. An absolute saint had died just like that, killed by a single sword. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the other absolute saints, pupils constricted in disbelief. Absolute Saint in the Great Circle. This middle-aged man, who was filled with the aura of an emperor, was actually an absolute saint in the Great Circle. How could the other party have such a powerful expert? The Azure continent didn't even have an absolute saint in the Great Circle. Even the Ice Dragon Patriarch hadn't reached the Great Circle of the Absolute Saint realm after living for countless years. Lu Ming was even more shocked. He was very familiar with the man's temperament, which reminded him of De. Yes, the other party's temperament was similar to De's, and De Xian, who had gone to the Divine Wilderness continent. De family, you are a De family's man. Someone shouted. The hearts of many people trembled. The Di family was an emperor-ranked power located in the northwest of the Azure continent. It seems that you guys have good eyesight. The noble middle-aged man spoke indifferently. His body emitted a golden radiance, and he looked down at his subjects like an emperor. Chapter 1733. 1733 Chapter 1733 Trap, Desperation Taoist brother of the Di family, why did you kill the people of my Evil Moon sect? Do you know that they are from Evil Spirit? The sect leader of the Evil Moon sect said. His heart was bleeding. An absolute saint had been killed just like that. What a great loss. A top sect didn't have many absolute saints. I naturally know. The noble middle-aged man said indifferently. Since you already know, why are you still helping the evildoers? The sect master of the Evil Moon sect shouted. Helping the evildoer? What a joke, come out. The noble middle-aged man said indifferently. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, terrifying auras came from all directions. Golden sword lights shot up into the sky, stirring up the thick fog. Then one figure after another appeared before everyone's eyes. He was dressed in a golden robe and had a jade crown on his head. He was filled with an air of nobility, and his temperament was very similar to that of the middle-aged man. The people of the Di family were all from the Di family, and there were more than 10,000 of them. Every one of them was emitting a terrifying chi. The number of bright saints and supreme saints was shocking. There were even more than a dozen absolute saints. 3 of them had the most terrifying auras. They were no weaker than the noble middle-aged man and were all in the absolute saint realm. In addition to the noble middle-aged man, there were a total of 4 absolute saints in the Great Circle. At this moment the experts of the major sects all turned pale. They were surrounded. Your D family has also joined Evil Spirit. Someone shouted. What do you mean by surrender? It's just cooperation. The noble middle-aged man said indifferently. Aha, I've said it before. You're the ones who will die today. Evil Spirit will rule the Azure continent. The sect master of the Sky Demon sect laughed. The hearts of Lu Ming and the rest sank. They understood that they had fallen into a trap. The other party was waiting for them to come. However, how could they have expected such a thing? How could they have expected that the DI family would also side with Evil Spirit sect and send out such a shocking force to destroy them in one fell swoop? Your D family has sent so many experts to the Azure continent. Aren't you afraid that the Cloud Emperor Mountain will take advantage of this? The Cloud Dragon Valley Master said, his brows tightly furrowed. Today they were in trouble. The other party's strength was far above them. If they fought, they had no hope. The other party had 4 great beings in the Great Circle of the Absolute Saint Realm. 4 great beings in the Great Circle of the Absolute Saint Realm were enough to deal with all of the Absolute Saints. Furthermore, they didn't know if the other party had other great beings in the dark. It seems that you are still unwilling to give up. I will make you give up. The Cloud Emperor Mountain was destroyed by my D family half a month ago. Emperor Yun was killed by the martial sovereign of my family. The noble middle-aged man said. What? The Cloud Emperor Mountain has been destroyed. Emperor Yun was killed? How is that possible? That's a great emperor. Countless people exclaimed in disbelief. The Gray State, the Cloud State where the Cloud Emperor Mountain was located, and the Emperor State where the DI family was located. These 3 states were closely connected. The Cloud Prefecture was to the west of the Tsang Prefecture, while the Emperor Prefecture was to the northwest of the Tsang Prefecture. Other than that, there were no other Emperor-ranked powers. That was because the Tsang Prefecture, the Emperor Prefecture, and the Cloud Prefecture were located in the middle of the Cloud Mountain Range. The terrain was flat and the original Qi was rich. The Cloud Mountain Range was vast and boundless. It was surrounded by steep and evil peaks, where countless ferocious beasts resided. Only these 3 prefectures were opened up by Emperor Tsang, Emperor Yun, and the martial sovereign of the DI family. They were suitable for the human race to reproduce and cultivate. Outside of the Cloud Mountain Range there were other monarch-level forces, but they were far away from the 3 prefectures. In the past, the 3 great forces were in a standoff, and no one could do anything to the other. Ever since Emperor Tsang's incident, the strength of the Azure continent had plummeted. However, the Cloud Emperor Mountain and the DI clan kept each other in check and confronted each other. The Azure continent was able to survive between the 2 forces and maintain a strange stability. Neither the Cloud Emperor Mountain nor the DI family could lay a finger on the Azure region. If one side sent out their troops to attack the Azure region, the other side would take advantage of the situation. Moreover, Emperor Yun and the martial sovereigns of the DI family were all about the same in strength, and neither of them could do anything to the other. But now, Emperor Yun was killed and the Cloud King Mountain was destroyed. In this way the balance was completely broken and no one could stop the DI family. It must be the evil spirit cult. The great emperor of the evil spirit cult must have helped the great emperor of the DI family to kill Emperor Yun. It's over, it's over. I can't win against evil spirit in the end. Many people sighed. They knew that the Cloud Emperor Mountain had been destroyed and the DI family had sent a large number of experts here. They had no chance. Why are you talking so much nonsense with them? Just exterminate them. The sect master of the Sky Demon sect shouted. Wait a moment. At this moment 2 figures appeared in the air. They were both wearing black robes. One of them was a white-haired old man, and the other was a thin old woman. Greetings to the 2 elders. The Grandmaster of the Sky Demon sect hurriedly bowed when he saw the 2 of them. Everyone's heart sank even more. Every elder of evil spirit was at the peak of the Saint Realm. They were extremely terrifying. Now 2 more had come. The other party was too strong. They had no chance. The white-haired elder nodded. Then he swept his gaze over the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the others. My evil spirit religion has returned. We're still weak and need all the power we can get. As long as you surrender and work for my evil spirit religion, I can spare you. Many people's hearts moved and their eyes flickered. If they fought today, only death would await them. Rather than being killed, it would be better to join evil spirit. Of course, everyone who seeks refuge will place a seal on your soul or your spiritual god. As long as you dare to resist, your soul will be destroyed and you will die with a single thought. The white-haired old man's voice turned cold. Many people's faces turned ugly. If a spirit or a spirit god had a restriction placed on them, they would really have no freedom at all and would have to obey evil spirit. Alright, I'll give you 3 minutes to consider whether to surrender or not. Surrender and you'll live. If you don't, you'll die. The white-haired elder announced. Many people's faces were ugly. Their eyes flickered as they looked around. However, they had been completely surrounded. There were too many experts from the DI family and the original members of Evil Spirit. They had no chance. The difference was too great. It was impossible to break out of the encirclement. If they attacked, they would only die. As time passed, the atmosphere became more and more solemn. Very quickly, 3 minutes were about to pass. I'm willing to surrender. The entire Heavenly God sect is willing to surrender. A voice rang out. It was the sect master of the Tianxin sect. He was the first to speak. Good, a wise man knows when to act. You all step forward, I will set up a restriction on your soul or spiritual god. The skinny old woman spoke, her voice harsh and unpleasant. Although the sect master of the Tianxin sect was unwilling, he still led the experts of the Tianxin sect forward. The skinny old woman stepped down and stretched out her hand to touch the forehead of the sect master of the Heavenly God sect. Dense inscriptions entered the forehead of the sect master of the Heavenly God sect. Chapter 1734. 1734 Chapter 1734 Breaking out after the skinny old woman from Evil Spirit sect set up a restriction for the sect master of the deity sect. She continued to set up restrictions for the rest of the deity sect. For those with high cultivation, she was a little slower in setting up restrictions. For those with low cultivation, she was extremely fast. With a wave of her hand, she set up restrictions on them one by one. The person with the restriction stood behind the skinny old woman obediently. Master, I'm going to rush out. In the crowd, Lu Ming held Xian Yanking's hand tightly and sent a message to the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. He wasn't willing to be controlled by evil spirit and become their puppet. That would be worse than death. Moreover, there was still Xian Yanqing. He would rather die than let Xian Yanqing fall into evil spirit's hands again. All right. To his surprise, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master nodded and sent a voice transmission to Lu Ming. He'll contact the others and we'll take action together. No matter what, you young people must be sent out. Otherwise we really have no hope. Lu Ming was touched. It seemed that the Cloud Dragon Valley Master had no intention of surrendering. Even if Lu Ming did not say anything, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master would find a way to rush out. Master, the halberd I obtained from the 100 Clan battlefield only has 2 streams of energy. I used one last time at the Tianyu Demon Sect, and if I use the other one I can kill a person in the Great Circle of the Absolute Saint Realm with one strike. Lu Ming sent a voice transmission to the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. All right. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master's eyes lit up. Originally, he didn't have much confidence because each of the 4 sides had an Absolute Saint in the Great Perfection Realm guarding them. In addition, there were 2 evil spirit elders. Even if he could unite a group of people and attack together, he wouldn't have much of a chance. However, if Lu Ming could kill an Absolute Saint in the Perfection stage, they would be able to break out of the encirclement from that direction. The possibility of them breaking out would increase greatly. He'll contact the others first. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master said. He immediately sent a voice transmission to the Ice Dragon Patriarch, who naturally agreed. Then the Cloud Dragon Valley Master sent a message to the Sect Master of the Life and Death Sword Sect, the Castle Master of the Demon Castle, and the Hall Master of the Heaven Seat Hall. Most people agreed, but people like the Evil Moon Sect and Piyuan family shook their heads and sighed. They didn't dare to take the risk. We've already discussed it. When the time comes, the Patriarch and I will take you and Yanqing to break out of the encirclement. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master sent a voice transmission to Lu Ming. It's just me and Xiaoqing. What about my senior brothers and the other disciples of Dragon God Valley? Lu Ming was shocked. There's no other way. The more people we bring, the less chance we'll be able to escape. If we bring them along, we'll only kill them. It'll make them surrender and join evil spirit first. You and Yanqing are the most talented. Only if you rush out will there be hope. When your cultivation is great, you can come back to save them. If you're caught, the others will have even less hope. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master said. But Lu Ming could not bear it. There's no need to say anything else. Ming, remember you are the only hope. The other sect leaders think the same way. They will only bring 1 or 2 of their most outstanding disciples to break out of the encirclement. There is only hope if you are safe," said the Cloud Dragon Valley Master. Then he sent a voice transmission to Yang Tianzong and the others. Yang Tianzong and the rest trembled before they nodded without hesitation. "Little junior brother, I'm counting on you. I'll wait for you to save me in the future." Yang Tianzong smiled and sent a voice transmission to Lu Ming. He then strode out and said loudly, "I want to surrender. I also want to surrender." Lu Ming's other senior brothers, as well as the rest of the people from Dragon God Valley, stepped out one after another, shouting their surrender. At this moment, Lu Ming clenched his fists tightly and felt a tingling sensation at the tip of his nose. Some people might be really afraid of death and thus surrendered. However, Lu Ming understood Yang Tianzong and the rest very well. They would definitely rather fight to the death than surrender. However, at this moment, they surrendered without any hesitation. Their purpose was to put Lu Ming and the rest at ease, and to paralyze the evil spirit cult and the DI family. "Senior brother, if I rush out, I will definitely come back to save you. Evil spirit cult, D family, I will definitely make them disappear from the Yuan continent." Lu Ming swore in his heart. "I surrender." There were people from other sects who kept shouting to surrender. As expected, the evil spirit cultivators looked satisfied. The skinny old woman waved her hand and set up a restriction for Yang Tianzong and the rest. "Ming, it's time." The voice of the Cloud Dragon Valley Master rang in Lu Ming's ears. Bang! Lu Ming took a step forward and dashed to the west. Bus, bus, and NBSP whoosh. At the same time, Xian Yanqing, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master, the Ice Dragon Patriarch, the Life and Death Sword Sect Master, and the others also moved. They all rushed to the west. "You still want to resist? You're looking for death." From the west, an absolute saint in the perfection stage shouted. A golden combat sword appeared in his hand, and a terrifying aura burst forth. A terrifying golden sword light slashed toward Lu Ming and the others. The attack of an absolute saint in the Great Circle was too terrifying. It suppressed all directions and destroyed everything in its way. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the others' expressions changed. Even if they joined forces, they might not be able to break out of this attack. If they were blocked by the other party, the others would react and they would have no chance. "Kill?" At this moment, Lu Ming bellowed. The reincarnation halberd appeared and the last wave of energy inside it exploded without hesitation. The reincarnation halberd transformed into a towering halberd. As it slashed down, the golden sword light was directly destroyed by the halberd. The halberd didn't stop, it was as fast as lightning. The absolute saint in the Great Circle couldn't block it at all and was cut in half by the halberd. The terrifying power even left a deep trench in the ground. "Charge! Kill our way out." The Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the others were invigorated as they charged forward with all their might. There were still a few absolute saints in front of them, but they were pushed back. They didn't want to fight anymore. They rushed out of the crowd and flew away. "Damn it, chase, quickly chase." The white-haired elder from Evil Spirit roared and was the first to give chase. The other 2 absolute saints from the DI family as well as some other absolute saints also rushed out and flew toward Lu Ming and the others. "You guys go after them too." The skinny old woman looked at the sect master and the others. The face of the sect master of the Heavenly God sect changed. "Hurry up!" the skinny old woman shouted. The sect master of the deity sect and the few absolute saints who were trapped by the restriction had no choice but to chase after Lu Ming and the rest. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master enveloped Lu Ming with his saint energy while the Ice Dragon Patriarch flew forward at top speed with Xian Yanqing. Lu Ming's gaze swept across the room and realized that the others had brought 1 person each. The sect leader of the Life and Death Sword sect brought a young man with him. Lu Ming was quite familiar with him. It was Luo Xiang. Another absolute saint of the Life and Death Sword sect also brought a young man. In addition, there were 2 absolute saints from Demon Castle, 2 absolute saints from the Sky King Palace, and 2 absolute saints from the Linglong Palace, each with 1 person. There were 10 absolute saints and 10 young men. Without a doubt, these young men were the most talented ones in their respective sections. Only by sending them out would they have hope in the future. "You won't be able to escape, so surrender." A cold voice came from behind. It was the elder from Evil Spirit, the white-haired old man. Chapter 1735. 1735 Emperor-to-be. The white-haired old man's speed was extremely fast. He was like a stream of light as he approached the crowd. There was a river flowing around his body, making him look like a god. The laws have formed a river. This person has already completely mastered a type of law. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master roared in anger, his expression extremely ugly. The others were the same. The river around the white-haired old man was completely formed from laws. It was a river of laws. The Saint Realm was the cultivation of laws. Ordinary people could only cultivate one law. He continued to comprehend and cultivate until he finally mastered this law. However, it was too difficult to completely grasp and comprehend a law. It was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Even if he cultivated to the great circle of the absolute Saint Realm, he still hadn't completely comprehended a single law. When one completely comprehended a law, one would have already transcended the Sage Realm and was half a step into the Martial Emperor Realm. This realm could be called the Emperor-to-be realm. This white-haired old man was an Emperor-to-be. An Emperor-to-be was much stronger than a peak absolute saint. Everyone gritted their teeth and increased their speed to the maximum, flying forward with all their might. Whoosh, whoosh. Streams of light streaked across the sky, and in the blink of an eye, everyone had flown tens of thousands of miles away. At this moment, the white-haired elder was getting closer to them. Kill? The white-haired elder shouted. With a wave of his hand, the river of laws turned into a huge palm as big as a mountain and blasted towards everyone. The terrifying power seemed to be about to burst the space. Let's join hands. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the others roared and blocked Lu Ming and the others behind them. The 10 absolute saints joined forces and unleashed their strongest attack. The 10 attacks combined and blasted toward the huge hand. Boom. There was an earth-shattering boom. Although the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the other top 10 experts managed to block the huge hand, their bodies trembled and they retreated one by one, spitting out blood. He injured 10 absolute saints with one move. The power was earth-shattering. I'll give you one more chance. Evil spirit is in need of manpower. Surrender and I won't kill you. The white-haired elder said coldly. What made them even more desperate was that many figures were coming from behind. The other absolute saints were coming. Leave this person to me. Lu Ming held the reincarnation halberd in his hand and strode forward. He held the sword with both hands, exhaled, and slashed the reincarnation halberd at the white-haired elder. This time, Lu Ming released all the remaining energy in the reincarnation halberd, leaving nothing behind. The terrifying energy on the reincarnation halberd made the white-haired old man's expression change. Slash. The explosive elder roared. The river of laws transformed into a huge sword and slashed at Lu Ming. Clang. The halberd and the giant sword met in the air, and a terrible energy burst out, sweeping in all directions and destroying the world. Break. Lu Ming's long hair fluttered in the wind, making him look like an invincible god of war. The reincarnation halberd glowed with a dark light, slowly pressing down on his opponent. Bang. In the end, his opponent's sword light exploded with a bang. The terrifying energy on the reincarnation halberd completely hit the white-haired elder. The white-haired elder screamed and his body flew hundreds of miles away. He spat out a large mouthful of blood and his aura was extremely weak. However, the white-haired old man did not die. Lu Ming sighed. The other party was too strong. He was an emperor-to-be. Of course, if all the energy in the reincarnation halberd was released, it could kill an emperor-to-be. Unfortunately, Lu Ming had used the last energy to kill an absolute saint in the Great Circle. As a result, he did not have enough energy to kill the white-haired elder. He could only injure him. The Reincarnation Emperor had once said that if the energy in the Reincarnation Halberd was fully unleashed, it could kill any expert below the Emperor level, even an Emperor-to-be. Of course, that was referring to the complete explosion of energy. Elder. At this moment, the experts of the Di family, the sect master of the Tianxin sect, and the others also arrived. They exclaimed in shock. What kind of weapon was in Lu Ming's hand? It was so terrifying that it could even injure an emperor-to-be. Previously, he had killed an absolute saint in the Great Circle with a single strike. This shocked them so much that they didn't dare to move forward. Let's go. At that moment, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master's holy power rolled up and enveloped Lu Ming. Everyone continued to fly forward. Don't let them get away. The white-haired old man shouted angrily, then sat down on the ground and began to heal his injuries. Chase. The Di family's experts, the sect master of the Tianxin sect, and the others continued to chase after Lu Ming and his group. Not long after, another tens of thousands of miles had passed. After all, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the others had brought one person with them. The distance between the two sides was slowly closing. However, they did not dare to make a move. Clearly they were afraid of Lu Ming's reincarnation halberd. You guys attack first. An absolute saint in the great perfection of the Di family looked at the sect master of the Sky God sect and the others. Why should we make the first move? The expression of the Heavenly God sect master changed drastically. If you don't attack, you'll die now. An expert from the Di clan coldly spoke. And NBSP, the sect master's face turned ugly, but they were being controlled by evil spirit and could only follow orders. Otherwise the other party could kill them with a thought. Yunruoxu Lu Ming, you'd better surrender. Evil spirit has its eyes on you. You can't escape. The sect master of the Heavenly God sect spoke. Even if we can't escape, we still have to escape. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master said. Stubborn. Kill. The sect master of the Tianxin sect looked gloomy. He took out a saint weapon and attacked the crowd from a distance. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master slashed out with his sword and sent the holy weapon flying. Following that, the other absolute saints, who were with the sect master of the Heavenly God sect, also took out their saint weapons to attack Lu Ming and the others. They were afraid of Lu Ming's halberd and did not dare to get close. We're getting close, attack with all your might. The Emperor family's expert coldly shouted. The sect master of the Tianxin sect had a cold expression on his face. He suddenly sped up and condensed a spear of divine punishment in his hand, stabbing it toward Lu Ming and the others. Get lost. The Valley Master of Cloud Dragon Valley slashed out with his sword, sending the sect master of the deity sect flying. Boom. An expert of the Emperor family flew up into the sky and slashed down with his sword. An astonishing sword light slashed down towards the crowd, and they joined forces to block the sword light. That brat's halberd should have some restrictions. He can't use it now. Suddenly, the sect master of the Heavenly God sect shouted. He recalled the time when he was in the Sky Demon sect. At the beginning, Lu Ming was also courageous and invincible. He had killed a few absolute saints in a row. However, in the end, he had watched the sect master and the others leave and did not pursue them. If Lu Ming's halberd could be used indefinitely, why didn't he kill the sect master of the Sky Demon sect and the others back then? With the power that could severely injure an emperor to be just now, it was completely possible. Moreover, he was being attacked by them, yet he had not used it. It was clear that there were some restrictions that prevented him from using it. Lu Ming's expression changed. It seemed that he had been exposed. The Di family's warrior's eyes glowed as he shouted, "Let's attack together." Instantly, 2 absolute saints in the perfected stage and more than 10 absolute saints attacked at the same time. The terrifying attack swept toward Lu Ming and the others. Chapter 1736. 1736. A helpless choice. The sect master of the Tianxin sect pointed out Lu Ming's halberd, which was probably unusable now. The powerhouses of the Emperor family and evil spirit sect began to attack. All kinds of attacks poured toward Lu Ming and the others. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the others could only retaliate with all their might. However, the other party had more people, and there were 2 absolute saints in the Great Circle. They were no match for them at all and they were forced to retreat. They were at a disadvantage. The 2 absolute saints in the Great Circle were too powerful. After more than 10 moves, the weakest absolute saint was injured. He still hasn't used his halberd. It seems like he really can't use it. The sect master of the Heavenly God sect spoke. His eyes were flickering with a cold light. Since he and the people of the deity sect could not escape and were under the control of evil spirit, he did not want the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the others to escape, especially Lu Ming. At the very least, he had to take down Lu Ming and the rest and turn them into evil spirit's puppets. Kill? The 2 absolute saints in the Great Circle were even bolder. They held the emperor swords and their sword chi was vast. They were like human emperors who could conquer the world. An absolute saint from the demon castle was pierced by the sword chi. He was severely injured and almost died. Boom. Boom. The others also continued to charge forward, breaking the defensive formation of the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the others. Die. An absolute saint in the Great Circle of the Emperor family shouted and stared at the expert from the demon castle. His attacks were like a tide, and the Emperor's sword was slashed out, destroying everything. You guys hurry up and leave. The cultivator from the demon castle roared and tried his best to block, but it was useless. In the end he was cut in half by a sword and died here. Kit, you're a talent. Surrender. The Di family's expert stared at the young heaven's favorite of the demon castle, who was being carried by the expert from the demon castle, and said coldly, "I surrender." The paragon of the monster castle had no choice but to surrender. At this time, another angry roar came from another person. The dantian of an absolute saint from the Sky King Palace had been pierced by another absolute saint in the great perfection of the emperor family, and his saint heart had been destroyed. The sword light turned the absolute saint into ashes. In the blink of an eye, 2 absolute saints had died. "We can't fight them head-on, charge." The Cloud Dragon Valley Master let out a long roar. The remaining 8 people tried their best to break through, but the other party was too strong. They were completely blocked and found it difficult to break out of the encirclement. "We can't go on like this. We have to split up and disperse the other party's strength. Otherwise we'll all be left behind," said the Ice Dragon Patriarch. "That's right. The 8 of us will form groups of 2 and break out of the encirclement. Whether we can break out or not will depend on our luck," the sect leader of the Life-Death Sword sect said. "I'll open the way." The Ice Dragon Patriarch let out a long roar and turned into a huge ice dragon. He opened his mouth and spat out a snow-white dragon horn, which emitted a terrifying power. The Ice Dragon Patriarch showed a trace of reluctance in his eyes and then roared, "Explode!" The snow-white dragon horn exploded with a boom, and a terrible cold current rushed out. An absolute saint of the Di family was frozen by the cold current, turning into an ice man. An absolute saint in the Great Circle was pushed back by the cold current, and his body was covered in a layer of ice. "Charge!" The Ice Dragon Patriarch roared and rushed out. The others followed closely behind. They broke out of the encirclement. Then the 8 absolute saints split into 4 groups and ran in 4 directions. The Ice Dragon Patriarch and the Cloud Dragon Valley Master led Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing in a group. The 2 absolute saints of the Life and Death Sword sect led Luo Xiang and the other 2 heaven's favorites in one group. The 2 great beings from the Linglong Palace formed another group. The Lord of the Demon Castle and the Lord of the Sky King Palace formed another group. "Split up and chase." An absolute saint in the Great Circle roared. "We can't let that Lu Ming go. He'll definitely be a big problem once he grows up." The sect master of the Heavenly God sect shouted, "Chase." The absolute saint in the Great Circle personally led a group of people to chase after Lu Ming and the others. The others split up and chased after the other groups. "That expert in the Great Circle of the Absolute Saint realm has his eyes on us." The Cloud Dragon Valley Master's face was dark. With the combat power of the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the Ice Dragon Patriarch, they were confident of escaping if there was no Absolute Saint in the Great Circle watching them. However, it would be difficult if an Absolute Saint was watching them. The 2 of them carried Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing as they flew at top speed. However, the other party was obviously faster and the distance between them was constantly closing. "Master Patriarch, we must split up." At this moment Lu Ming spoke. The enemy's target was obviously him. If they split up, Xian Yanqing's chances of escaping would be very high. If they worked together, it was very likely that none of them would be able to escape. "Lu Ming, don't split up. Let's go together," Xian Yanqing said. How could she not know what Lu Ming was thinking? Lu Ming is right. We must separate. Patriarch, you take Yanqing and he'll take Lu Ming. We'll take as many as we can. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master said. All right. The Ice Dragon Patriarch was also very decisive and nodded directly. Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing was still reluctant. Let's go. Lu Ming roared. The Ice Dragon Patriarch grabbed Xian Yanqing with his huge claws. With a long roar, he separated from the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and flew in another direction. You guys go after that Ice Dragon. Leave these 2 to me. The Absolute Saint in the Great Circle ordered the other Absolute Saints to chase after the Ice Dragon Patriarch, while the Great Being in the Great Circle continued to chase the Cloud Dragon Valley Master and Lu Ming. Lu Ming secretly heaved a sigh of relief. With the Ice Dragon Elder's combat strength, as long as he wasn't up against a perfected Absolute Saint, there was a high chance that he would be able to escape. The Absolute Saint was indeed staring at him. This was also the reason why Lu Ming did not use the mountain and river diagram to store other people. If he put the others into the mountain and river diagram, the other party would be less of a target. They would only need to keep an eye on him. In that case they would not be able to escape. As long as he could capture Lu Ming, he would be able to wipe them out. The best way was to split up. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master brought Lu Ming along and transformed into a beam of sword light. In the blink of an eye, they traveled 1,000 miles, and the endless mountains beneath their feet swept past. You can't escape. Since your combat strength is not bad, you should surrender obediently. Otherwise only death awaits you, the supreme saint of the Di family said coldly. His body seemed to have turned into a golden sword light, breaking through the air at an amazing speed. Even if the Cloud Dragon Valley Master tried his best, he was unable to pull away. Instead, the distance between the two sides was getting closer and closer. Whoosh! Behind them, the Di family's expert slashed out a sword light towards Lu Ming and the other man. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master waved his sword to block it. With a clang, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master's body trembled and his face turned pale. However, he still used this force to fly forward for 100 miles. Master, Lu Ming was worried. I'm fine. Ming, you go first. They'll block him. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master sent a voice transmission to Lu Ming. What? Lu Ming's heart trembled. No, this person is too powerful. He's a perfected absolute saint. I can't let Master stay here alone. If the Cloud Dragon Valley Master stayed behind to stop the other party, the odds would be against him. Lu Ming would never agree to that. Ming, there's only hope as long as you escape. Now, your senior brothers and so many people from Dragon God Valley have fallen into the hands of evil spirit cult. Dragon God Valley will definitely not be safe from now on. Your only hope now is on you. With your talent, you will definitely rise in the future and destroy evil spirit cult and the Di family. If you're also caught, then there's really no hope at all. Do you understand? The Cloud Dragon Valley Master continued to transmit his voice. Chapter 1737, 1737 Chapter 1737 Bubbles transforms, Master. Lu Ming clenched his fists tightly. Although he understood that this was the best choice, he really couldn't leave the Cloud Dragon Valley Master to resist the other party while he escaped alone. Ever since he joined Dragon God Valley and became Cloud Dragon Valley Master's disciple, Cloud Dragon Valley Master had helped him too much. In front of Cloud Dragon Valley, he had been suppressed by Yin Zheng. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master had pushed Yin Zheng back in anger. Later on, he had used the power of the third bloodline to transform into a killing puppet. It was the Cloud Dragon Valley Master who had arrived in time and saved him. He had frozen him for half a year to erase his endless killing intent. And many, many more. It could be said that without the Cloud Dragon Valley Master, Lu Ming would not be where he was today. Now Lu Ming had to make such a choice. Lu Ming found it difficult to do it. Ming, don't be silly. Your senior brothers and the rest of Dragon God Valley depend on you to save them. You don't have to worry about me. If I can't win, he'll just surrender and wait for you to come back and save me. The evil spirit cult needs strength to rise again. They won't kill me. And NBSP Cloud Dragon Valley Master continued, also escape and go to Ancient Moon Holy Land. Ask for help from them. Only a powerful faction from Ancient Moon Holy Land can deal with evil spirit sect. If we're all captured, we'll have no hope. Let's go. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master shouted. Master, take care. Lu Ming roared and used the divine wind steps to fly forward at top speed. Lu Ming was also a decisive person. He struggled in his heart for a while and made a decision very quickly. The Cloud Dragon Valley Master stopped and held his sword in one hand. His white clothes were like snow and his white hair danced in the wind. His eyes were like lightning as he looked at the Di family's experts rushing over. Bus. A dragon's roar resounded as sword chi shot up into the sky. Lu Ming turned around and saw two shocking sword gleams meeting in the air and colliding fiercely. Lu Ming's heart trembled and he clenched his fists tightly. As he used too much force, his nails dug into his palms and blood flowed. His eyes were bloodshot and he was roaring in his heart, Master, you must be fine. I will come back to save you in the future. Evil spirit cult D family, I will destroy them with my own hands. Boom. Boom. In the distance, sword chi shot up into the sky, constantly clashing with each other. It was extremely intense. Lu Ming gritted his teeth and pushed his speed to the limit. He dashed into the distance like a stream of light and finally rushed into the vast mountains. After rushing into the mountain, Lu Ming transformed the chaos rule into the law of the earth and then rushed into the ground. Lu Ming's entire body sank into the ground and he disappeared without a trace. Lu Ming traveled underground, surrounded by laws. His speed was still extremely shocking. Moreover, Lu Ming had cast the illusionary breath technique to conceal his aura to the extreme. Not a single trace of his aura was leaked out. Just like that, Lu Ming had been traveling underground for 2 days and 2 nights. He had no idea how far he had run. At this moment, Lu Ming finally stopped. With a single thought, he entered the mountain and river diagram. The mountain and river diagram was left deep underground. Lu Ming took out a pile of raw gemstones and devoured and refined them. Not long after, Lu Ming's holy power was fully recovered. I wonder what happened to Master. I hope that Shizhuan can't win and directly surrender. And Yanqing. Did he and the Ice Dragon Patriarch escape? Lu Ming's eyes were full of worry. Strength. At this moment he was extremely eager for strength. His cultivation speed was already very fast. It had been more than 5 years since he came to the Yuan continent. When he had just arrived in the Yuan continent, he was only at the supreme level and had not yet become an emperor. But now he was already a saint. It was shocking that he had crossed such a huge distance in just a little more than 5 years. One should know that after reaching the rank of a martial emperor, the concept of time became more and more unclear. Many people would go into closed-door cultivation for 10 years, decades, or even hundreds of years. In 5 to 6 years, many people might not even be able to cross one level of cultivation. Lu Ming's cultivation speed was already very fast. It was not inferior to some of the peerless geniuses. Lu Ming's combat strength was even more shocking. With his cultivation of initial bright saint, he could even kill an ordinary initial supreme saint if he used all his means. There had never been one in the Azure continent since ancient times. However, such a battle prowess was naturally high up in the Azure continent's younger generation. It was impossible to surpass him, but in the face of an emperor-ranked power, he was still so powerless. In emperor-ranked forces, let alone martial emperor powerhouses. He wasn't a match for any of the emperors to be or absolute saints. He had to keep improving. If he had the cultivation base of a martial supreme, he could directly trample on the Di family and annihilate the Di family and evil spirit cult. Master, just you wait, I will definitely go to Ancient Moon Holy Land and get reinforcements. Even if there are no reinforcements, I will definitely save you all. Lu Ming's eyes were determined. He moved and appeared in a valley. In the valley there was a milky white light cocoon, and within the light cocoon was Bubble. Lu Ming took a look and left the place. He sat cross-legged under the path understanding ancient tree. I can't go out now. I guess evil spirit and D family are looking for me all over the world. I'll go out after a while. Lu Ming pondered. Lu Ming then closed his eyes and began to study the finger of tribulation of chaos. In the blink of an eye, half a month had passed. In the distance, a beam of light shot into the sky and interrupted Lu Ming's cultivation. Bubble? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He took a step forward and appeared in the valley. At that moment, the light cocoon that was formed by bubbles was extremely dazzling. After a while, the light receded and Lu Ming saw a figure in the light. Yes, it was a figure, an adult. Don't tell me that Bubbles has transformed? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. When the light completely disappeared, a little girl appeared in front of Lu Ming. It was a little girl who looked to be only 2 or 3 years old. Her hair was loose and she was naked, revealing her skin that was even fairer and smoother than white jade. She looked chubby and extremely cute. This is Bubble? It really is a woman. Lu Ming was tongue-tied. Lu? Brother Lu Ming, chirp, chirp. The cute little girl blinked her big eyes. When she saw Lu Ming, she called out in a childish voice and pounced toward Lu Ming. She threw herself into Lu Ming's arms, her chubby body rolling in his arms. Bubble, you've transformed? Lu Ming said. The spirit sea was already capable of transforming ordinary demonic beasts. However, divine beasts could only transform after they reached the Emperor realm. The higher the level, the harder it was to transform. Bubbles was one of the top 10 war beasts, but it could only transform after reaching the Saint realm. That's right, Chirpy. Bubbles opened her mouth and spoke in a childish voice. Her speech was not smooth and she even had a chirpy tone at the end. She was really as cute as she could be. Haha, Bubble, put on your clothes. Lu Ming smiled and his mood finally improved. Yes, brother Lu Ming, chirp chirp. She was sparkling and there was light flowing on her body. She weaved a little dress with saint power, which made her look even cuter. Bubble, let's go out and take a look. Lu Ming said. He then let Bubble sit on his shoulder. Lu Ming exited the mountain and river diagram, concealed his aura, and headed to the ground. More than half a month had passed, so the other party must have left this area. Chapter 1738. 1738 Chapter 1738 Asking for information after reaching the surface, he found that he was in a vast mountain range, and the roars of demonic beasts could be heard from time to time. I wonder how Master is doing? And Xiang and the others? Lu Ming revealed a worried look. Bubble, you enter the mountain and river diagram first. And going back to Dragon God Valley. Lu Ming said to Pao Pao. Pao Pao nodded and returned to the mountain and river diagram. Lu Ming's body began to transform. In the end, he turned into a dark-skinned young man. His aura had also changed greatly. Then Lu Ming headed in the direction of the Azure continent. Lu Ming could not feel at ease leaving just like that. He had to find out the whereabouts of Cloud Dragon Valley Master, Xian Yanqing, Xiang, Tianque, and the others. If he left now, he would leave behind a demon in his heart, which would have a great impact on his future cultivation. Given Lu Ming's cultivation base, as long as he did not encounter an absolute saint, he should not be able to see through his disguise. He just had to avoid an absolute saint. Lu Ming rose into the air and flew at top speed. Along the way, he did not encounter anyone from Evil Spirit Cult or the DI family. Soon, Lu Ming arrived at the place where the Cloud Dragon Valley Master had stopped. It was a desolate place. The ground was filled with deep sword marks that crisscrossed and extended for thousands of miles. Could be seen how intense the battle was. Lu Ming even saw traces of blood at one spot. How is it, Master? Lu Ming's worry grew and he left the place. Not long after, he arrived near the Jiuxiao sword sect. The Jiuxiao sword sect was very peaceful. There were people going in and out. It looked peaceful, but Lu Ming saw a few figures in golden robes. They were obviously disciples of the DI family. It seemed like Jiuxiao sword sect was already under evil spirits' control. Lu Ming left the place and headed south. And NBSP along the way, he passed by a few powerful sects and observed them in secret. He found that these sects were all controlled by evil spirit. It was obvious that many people had restrictions placed on them and had to listen to evil spirit's orders. It was obvious that evil spirit had already taken full control of all the major forces in the Azure continent. A few days later, Lu Ming arrived at the vicinity of Dragon God Valley. Lu Ming did not enter the Dragon God Valley. Instead, he waited outside. What? Not long after, Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. He saw a familiar face, the sect master of the Sky Demon sect. It seems that the evil spirit cult has also taken down Dragon God Valley. How are Xiang and the others? Lu Ming was extremely worried. He restrained his aura and watched from afar. The sect master of the Sky Demon sect looked gloomy as he flew toward the north and disappeared. Lu Ming continued to wait. The next day he saw a group of people flying out of Dragon God Valley. Senior brother Zifeng. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He saw Zifeng. The group of people flew into the distance with Lu Ming following them from a distance. Senior brother Zifeng. After they were a distance away from Dragon God Valley, Lu Ming sent a voice transmission to Zifeng. After hearing Lu Ming's voice, Zifeng's body trembled, but he quickly regained his composure. I suddenly remembered that I have something to do. I need to go back to Dragon God Valley. You guys go ahead. Zifeng and the others said. The others nodded and continued to fly, disappearing in the blink of an eye. Meanwhile, Zifeng started to look around. Senior brother Zifeng, I'm in a valley to your left. Lu Ming's voice rang in Zifeng's ears. Zifeng's figure moved and he flew to the left. He flew into a valley and saw Lu Ming. Junior brother Lu Ming, I heard that you've escaped. Many sect masters from Evil Spirit sect and Sky Demon sect are looking for you. Why did you come back? It's very dangerous. Zifeng said worriedly. Senior brother Zifeng, has the Evil Spirit cult already occupied Dragon God Valley? Lu Ming asked. Not bad. Zifeng sighed. More than 10 days ago, a large number of Evil Spirit cultivators descended upon Dragon God Valley. Most of the disciples in Dragon God Valley were captured. The other party has set up a restriction on our spirit god. As expected. Senior brother Zifeng, do you know how Tianque and my disciple Lu Xiang are doing? Lu Ming's heart tightened. Junior brother doesn't need to worry about this. At that time, the Valley Master saw the opportunity early and took Xiang Bela, Tianque, and Xuanixin a step ahead of time to rush out of Dragon God Valley. I don't know where they are now. But I heard that Evil Spirit has been looking for him, so he should be fine. It's a pity that most of the others were captured when they escaped. Zifeng laughed bitterly. He escaped. Lu Ming felt relieved. Ice Dragon Valley's Valley Master also knew about Xiang Bela's talent. He must have brought Xiang Bela, Tianque, and Xuanixin to escape the moment he realized that something was wrong. A sect master like Ice Dragon Valley Master naturally knew how to make a decision. At the critical moment he would naturally take away the most talented person. Only then would there be hope. Senior brother Zifeng, do you know how my master, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master, is doing? Lu Ming asked again. And? Zifeng nodded and said, I've heard some news in secret. When you went to annihilate evil spirit, you were ambushed by the Di family. Most of your people were captured and controlled by evil spirit. Only a few were killed. I heard that your master was seriously injured and was finally placed under a restriction by evil spirit. Master is fine. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. It was good that his master was fine. He was just being controlled by the other party. Lu Ming would save him sooner or later. Senior brother, what else have you heard? For example, how many people have escaped? Lu Ming asked. I'm not sure either. It seems that many people have been caught, such as the sect master of the Heaven Seek King and the Lord of the Demon Castle. However, our Ice Dragon Patriarch seems to have escaped as well. The sect master of the Life and Death Sword sect has also escaped. Zifeng muttered. Has the Ice Dragon Patriarch also escaped? Lu Ming felt relieved again. The escape of the Ice Dragon Patriarch meant that Xian Yanqing had also escaped. Fortunately, things didn't develop in the worst direction. Xiangxiang Bela and the others were taken away by Ice Dragon Valley Master, and Xian Yanqing was taken away by Ice Dragon Patriarch. His master, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master, had only been injured. He had fallen into the hands of the other party and had been controlled. Lu Ming was more or less at ease. Senior brother Zifeng, come with me, Lu Ming said. Junior brother, you should leave. I can't leave. The other party has placed a restriction on my spirit god. Every once in a while I have to report. If I don't report within a certain period of time, the other party will activate the restriction and destroy my soul. Zifeng shook his head and smiled bitterly. Detestable. Lu Ming gritted his teeth. This is how evil spirit uses to control people. Junior brother, leave quickly and leave the Azure continent. With your talent, you will have the chance to become an emperor in the future. I'll place my hopes on you and wait for you to come back to save me. Zifeng said with a slight smile. Senior brother Zifeng, take care. Lu Ming cupped his fist. Haha, don't worry. I'll definitely live well before junior brother returns. When junior brother returns, I'll drink to my heart's content with junior brother. Junior brother, let's go quickly. If we delay any longer, things might change. Zifeng said. Don't worry, senior brother. Lu Ming will definitely come back to save you and flatten evil spirit. Lu Ming nodded solemnly. Then, his figure flashed and he left the valley. Chapter 1739. 1739. Heading to ancient Moon Holy Land. After parting ways with Zifeng, Lu Ming changed his appearance again and headed west. Now he planned to go from the west, pass through the Cloud Plain, enter the Cloud Sea Mountain Range and head to the ancient Moon Holy Land. A few days later, Lu Ming arrived at the western part of the Azure region and entered the Cloud region. After some time, Lu Ming arrived near the Cloud Emperor Mountain. The Cloud Emperor Mountain has collapsed. Lu Ming muttered with a complicated look in his eyes. In the distance, the majestic Cloud Emperor Mountain collapsed. It was as if it had been struck by a boundless power. Here, an emperor-level battle occurred. Emperor Yun was killed and the Cloud Emperor Mountain collapsed. Lu Ming sighed. An emperor-level force had been destroyed just like that. Even a martial emperor had been killed. The Yuan continent was too big and there were countless forces. This kind of thing probably happened everywhere. Even if one cultivated to the rank of a martial supreme, it was not guaranteed that one would be safe. There would always be someone stronger than one. Unless one had the combat strength to dominate the world, one might fall at any time. Lu Ming did not stay any longer. He took a few glances and left the place, heading west. What? Soon after, Lu Ming's eyes flickered. There was a group of people flying in front of them. There were about a dozen of them and they were all wearing golden robes. They were filled with a noble aura, like emperors among people. Lu Ming was very familiar with one of the young men. Emperor Xian. Back then, Di Xian had brought people into the divine wilderness to help Di. He wanted to kill Lu Ming, but in the end, most of his subordinates were killed by Lu Ming and he had to retreat in embarrassment. He didn't expect to meet Di Xian here. After so many years, Di Xian's cultivation had already broken through the martial royal realm and was now at LV5 martial royal realm. Among the dozen of people, there were 2 at the Saint realm and the rest were high-level martial royal realm. Since we've met him, we should get rid of him and get rid of any future trouble. Otherwise, who knows when this guy will run to the divine wilderness continent to seek revenge. There was a cold glint in Lu Ming's eyes. Lu Ming took a step forward and walked towards the dozen Di family members. Who is it? A Saint Stage powerhouse looked at Lu Ming with a sharp gaze. The person who will kill you. A combat sword appeared in Lu Ming's hand and he slashed. A terrifying sword light flashed and the saint was killed in one strike without any chance to fight back. Not good, quickly call for help. Someone exclaimed. Kill? Lu Ming's combat sword swept across the sky. Given these people's combat strength, they could not stop Lu Ming at all. They were too far behind. With a slash of the sword, almost all of them were killed. Only one person was still alive and that was Di Xian. At this moment, Di Xian was completely stunned. He stood in the air, his body trembling uncontrollably. He broke out in a cold sweat and looked at Lu Ming in horror. Brother, let's talk this out. Please spare my life. You are from the Cloud Emperor Mountain, right? Please leave. I will never tell anyone about this. I'm not from the Cloud Emperor Mountain. Lu Ming said. Not from the Cloud Emperor Mountain? Di Xian was stunned for a moment. He thought that it was the missing fish from the Cloud Emperor Mountain who had come back for revenge. It turned out that he was not from the Cloud Emperor Mountain. You're so fast. Don't you remember me? Lu Ming sneered and his appearance returned to normal. It's you? Di Xian's pupils constricted as he recognized Lu Ming. He had not expected that before he could go to the Divine Wilderness continent to look for Lu Ming had already arrived. Furthermore, his combat strength was so terrifying that even a saint could not take a single blow from him. His original plan was to seek revenge on Lu Ming in the Divine Wilderness after he had broken through to the martial royal realm. However, many things had happened in the Di family and he had many things to do. At this point in time, he did not go to the Divine Wilderness. He stayed in the Di family to make a name for himself. When the situation had stabilized, he would go to the Divine Wilderness to exterminate Lu Ming. He did not expect to meet Lu Ming here. He turned around and ran. However, Lu Ming slashed with his sword. Di Xian was dead. After killing Di Xian, Lu Ming felt more relaxed. He could now go to Ancient Moon Sanctuary in peace. After changing his appearance, Lu Ming left the place at top speed and headed west. Not long after Lu Ming left, the murder of Di Xian and the others was discovered. The Di family sent out a large number of experts to search for the murderer, but unfortunately they could not find the murderer in the end. Lu Ming headed all the way to the west. He passed through the Clouds Plains and entered a vast mountain range. This was the Cloud Sea Mountain Range. The Cloud Ocean Mountain Range was filled with ancient trees and countless dangerous peaks. There were countless beasts living there, even quite a few absolute saint beasts. Lu Ming was careful. He slowed down and walked through the mountain range of the Sea of Clouds. He cultivated as he hurried along. After walking for 2 whole months, Lu Ming finally passed through the boundless sea of clouds and mountains and entered a place where humans gathered, Feng Province. Feng Province also had an emperor-level powerhouse guarding it, and he was called Emperor Feng. After arriving at Feng Province, he finally did not have to travel carefully. Lu Ming took out the space-breaking flying shuttle that was 5 times faster, entered it and flew away. Lu Ming's goal was to rush to the Ancient Moon Sanctuary and see if he could ask the powerful forces of the Ancient Moon Sanctuary to take action and annihilate evil spirit cult. Ordinary Emperor-level forces were useless. For example, the Cloud Emperor Mountain had been destroyed. After Lu Ming entered the space-breaking flying shuttle, he continued to cultivate. During the 2 months in the Cloud Sea Mountain Range, Lu Ming's main focus was to cultivate the chaotic finger of tribulation. After such a long period of cultivation, Lu Ming had finally successfully comprehended the chaotic finger of tribulation. Of course, it was only 10%, but its power was still terrifying. The primal chaos tribulation finger was a supernormal technique that used the primal chaos laws as the foundation. Even if it was only 1/10 of its power, it would still far surpass ordinary supernormal techniques. The finger of chaos tribulation had become Lu Ming's strongest killing move. Lu Ming's cultivation was also steadily improving, slowly approaching the mastery of the Bright Saint stage. Lu Ming cultivated in peace in the space-breaking flying shuttle. In the blink of an eye, another month had passed. Lu Ming had already crossed 6 big states and passed by 6 emperor-level forces. However, he was still very far from Ancient Moon Sanctuary. There are so many emperor-level forces scattered all over this land. Then, with Ancient Moon Holy Land as the center, how many emperor-level forces are there in the territory that stretches out? Each of these emperor-ranked powers has at least 1 emperor-ranked powerhouse in charge. How many emperor-ranked powerhouses are there? Also, there are 9 sacred lands in Mount Yuan. How many emperor-level powers are there? Not to mention that there are 10 lands in the Yuan continent. How many experts and emperor-level experts are there? I'm afraid it's hard to count. Then why did I hear that evil spirit had harmed the Yuan continent and was annihilated by countless forces? Lu Ming had many thoughts in his mind. He was very curious. It was said that evil spirit had a leader, 2 vice leaders and 36 guardian kings, all of whom were emperor-level experts. Such a force was indeed terrifying and incomparably terrifying. However, in the vast Yuan continent, it should not be considered much, right? In the vast Yuan continent, with so many monarch-level forces and so many monarch-level experts working together, they could easily destroy evil spirit cult, right? Perhaps because the Azure region is remote, most people don't have enough knowledge and think that evil spirit is the most terrifying power in the Yuan continent. Lu Ming pondered. Chapter 1740 Blood Jade Palace. After all, in the vast Yuan continent, the Gray region was only a small corner. It was located in the mountains of the distant sea, along with the Cloud region and the Emperor region. Most of the people in the Azure continent had no idea how big the world was or how many powerful forces were outside of the Azure continent. In their eyes, Emperor Tsang was the most powerful existence in the world. As for evil spirit, they had dozens of emperor-level experts. Naturally, they thought that evil spirit was the most terrifying power in the Yuan continent. This was normal. Before Lu Ming went to the 100-clan battlefield, he did not expect that there would be so many emperor-level forces in the Yuan continent. I can't go on like this. I don't know how long I have to fly. I have to find a teleportation array. Otherwise it will be too slow. Lu Ming pondered. However, in the Yuan continent, only emperor-level forces could build a teleportation formation. Go down and find out which emperor-ranked force this is. Lu Ming had a plan. He put away the space-breaking shuttle, stepped on the air and landed in a big city. This is the Blood Jade State ruled by the Blood Jade Palace. Isn't Su Ran a disciple of the Blood Jade Palace? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. In the 100-clan battlefield, Lu Ming and Su Ran got to know each other through a fight. In the end, they had a feeling of appreciation for each other and their relationship was not bad. Later on, Su Ran was captured by the natives of the 100-clan battlefield. Lu Ming was also the one who saved him. When they parted, Su Ran had also invited Lu Ming to visit him at Blood Jade Palace when he was free. Since this was Blood Jade Palace's territory, he could find Su Ran and use the Blood Jade Palace's teleportation array to head to the Ancient Moon Sanctuary. Immediately, Lu Ming asked for the direction to the Blood Jade Palace and flew there. Half a day later, Lu Ming arrived outside the Blood Jade Palace and sent a message to Su Ran. Not long after, he saw Su Ran flying out of Blood Jade Palace. "Ha, Lu Ming, I didn't expect you to really come and look for me." Su Ran laughed and was quite surprised. "Su Ran, you've broken through to the Saint Realm. Congratulations." Lu Ming sized Su Ran up and smiled. "What's there to congratulate you for? You've probably broken through to the Saint Realm long ago, right?" Su Ran sized Lu Ming up and realized that he could not see through Lu Ming's cultivation. "I've also just broken through to the Sage Realm." Lu Ming smiled. "I knew it, you must have broken through to the Saint Plane. Alright, weren't you in the Azure continent? Why did he suddenly come to Blood Jade Palace? It can't be that you're here just to see me, right?" Su Ran laughed. "It's a long story." Lu Ming sighed. "Evil spirit has been revived. The remnants of evil spirit have already occupied the Azure continent, the Emperor continent, and the Cloud continent. I had no choice but to run away." "What? Evil spirit?" Su Ran's face changed. "Su Ran, how much do you know about evil spirit?" Lu Ming asked. Su Ran came from an emperor-level force. He might know more about evil spirit than Lu Ming. "I'm not particularly sure either. I only know that evil spirit religion appeared 80,000 years ago. They had a leader, 2 vice leaders and 36 guardian kings. They were all emperor-level figures and were extremely powerful. They specialized in killing emperor-level powerhouses and geniuses with the potential to become emperors. In the ancient Moon Holy Land, many forces changed their expressions when they talked about it. The most important thing is that evil spirit is good at controlling people, so their strength is stronger than what they seem on the surface. Back then, many powerful forces of ancient Moon Holy Land joined forces to annihilate evil spirit. I didn't expect evil spirit to actually revive and come out to do evil again." Su Ran frowned and said. "And NBC, I'm here to go to ancient Moon Holy Land and ask them to help us exterminate evil spirit." Lu Ming said. "Well, that's good. I'm going to Ancient Moon Sanctuary soon too. We can go together." But Lu Ming, Don't have too much hope in asking for help from the ancient moon sanctuary's major forces. Zhu Ran said. Why? And NBSP, since evil spirit was so dangerous, how could those powerful factions from ancient moon Holy Land ignore it? Ancient moon Holy Land is divided by many powerful forces. Although there are many powerful forces, the competition between them is extremely fierce. They probably have no time to care about other things and might not send many emperor-level figures to help you. Back then, it was evil spirit cult that angered those powerful forces of ancient moon Holy Land, which was why they were besieged by those forces. Zhu Ran said. I see. Lu Ming furrowed his brows tightly. He understood that all forces prioritized their own interests. As long as their interests were not harmed, they would not care much. However, no matter how difficult it was, he had to try. If he could invite the help of a powerful force from ancient moon Holy Land, he would be able to save Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the others earlier. Lu Ming, don't be discouraged. I'll report this to the higher-ups. I can't decide what to do with them. Zhu Ran said. Many thanks. Lu Ming cupped his fists. It's a small matter. Lu Ming, let's go and stay in Blood Jade Palace for a few days. After 2 days, I'll go to Ancient Moon Sanctuary with you. Zhu Ran said. Lu Ming nodded and entered the Blood Jade Palace with Zhu Ran. Zhu Ran's status in Blood Jade Palace was very high. After arranging a courtyard for Lu Ming, he went to report the matter of evil spirit. 2 days later, Zhu Ran came to Lu Ming to inform him that the evil spirit incident had been reported and that the Blood Jade Palace's Martial Emperor already knew about it. However, he did not know what the Martial Emperor would do. Lu Ming nodded. Indeed, only a Martial Emperor could interfere in this matter. They could not interfere in the Martial Emperor's decision. Lu Ming, let's go. Well, go to Ancient Moon Sanctuary. I heard that the Jade Lake Saintess from a major force in Ancient Moon Sanctuary has appeared and is interested in choosing a guardian. The geniuses of all the major forces around Ancient Moon Sanctuary have already set out. During this time, Ancient Moon Sanctuary will probably be very lively. Zhu Ran said with an expression of anticipation. The Jade Lake Saint? Lu Ming was puzzled. He knew nothing about Ancient Moon Holy Land. Yes, the Jade Lake is a very special force. It is full of women, all of whom are beautiful, especially the saintesses who are as beautiful as fairies. Every 20 years the Jade Lake will produce a batch of saintesses. This time there are 9 saintesses in total. It said that each of them is as beautiful as a fairy, like a goddess who has descended to the mortal world. Furthermore, they are extremely talented and have profound cultivation. If they can become Tao protectors, wouldn't that be a wonderful thing? Zhu Ran's eyes were already shining as he spoke. Lu Ming smiled faintly. He was not in the mood to look at beautiful women now. Immediately, Lu Ming and Zhu Ran walked towards the teleportation array of Blood Jade Palace. They stepped onto the teleportation formation and left Blood Jade Palace. Not long after, they appeared in an ancient city. This place was not Guyu Holy Land, but an ancient city outside Guyu Holy Land. The various emperor-ranked powers could not directly teleport to Ancient Moon Holy Land. They could only teleport to the ancient city outside Ancient Moon Holy Land, and then set out from the ancient city to Ancient Moon Holy Land. Lu Ming and Zhu Ran did not stay in the ancient city. They flew directly to the Ancient Moon Sanctuary. Not long after, a vast mountain appeared in front of them. The peaks rose into the sky like sharp swords. From afar it was boundless and magnificent. Chapter 1741. 1741 Chapter 1741 First visit to the Holy Land. On the peak of the highest mountain, there was a huge stone tablet. It was hundreds of thousands of feet tall, and there were strange symbols flowing on the stone tablet. It emitted a light curtain that divided the heaven and earth into 2 halves, separating them. That's the boundary stone. Ancient Moon Holy Land is a holy land for cultivation. The original chi is rich and the earth is beautiful. It said that in the distant past, the powerful forces of Ancient Moon Holy Land joined forces and created 108 boundary stones. They were erected around Ancient Moon Holy Land, isolating it from the outside world to prevent the original chi from leaking and affecting Ancient Moon Holy Land. Zhu Ran seemed to know the Ancient Moon Holy Land very well. Seeing that Lu Ming had some doubts, he explained. The boundary stone can only isolate the natural chi of heaven and earth. It doesn't stop living beings from entering and leaving. Let's go in. Zhu Ran continued. The 2 of them stepped into the air. When they passed through the light screen, there was no obstacle at all. The light screen rippled like water and the 2 of them passed through it. What a dense origin chi. As soon as he passed through the light screen, Lu Ming could feel that the origin chi inside the light screen was several times denser than that outside. Moreover, it seemed to be clearer to comprehend the heaven and earth laws here. It's indeed a holy land for cultivation. The cultivation environment is much better than the outside world. It's two completely different worlds separated by a light screen. Lu Ming was shocked. Ancient Moon Holy Land, its territory is very vast, bigger than many big states. However, those who can establish a sect in Ancient Moon Holy Land and take root in Ancient Moon Holy Land are all extremely powerful and terrifying forces. Without strength, it is impossible to obtain a place in such a holy land. For example, those Emperor-ranked forces outside the Holy Land do not have the qualifications to establish a sect in Ancient Moon Holy Land. Because their strength is not enough, they will be expelled by the powerful forces of Ancient Moon Holy Land. Zuran said. Lu Ming was secretly shocked. Even Emperor-level forces could not establish a sect in Ancient Moon Sanctuary. How strong was Ancient Moon Sanctuary? Su Ran had been to Ancient Moon Holy Land before and was familiar with it. He led the way and the two of them chatted as they walked. Not long after, a vast building complex appeared in front of the two. Although it was far away, Lu Ming could still see that there were people coming and going among the buildings. It was very lively. This is one of the buildings in Ancient Moon Holy Land. There are many powerful forces in Ancient Moon Holy Land with many disciples. There are also many cultivators from outside of Ancient Moon Holy Land. These people will gather here to buy treasures and so on. It is very lively. Zuran said. Lu Ming nodded. This building complex was like a city, except that there were no city walls. The two of them flew forward and landed on the ground. They found that the streets were crisscrossed and the shops formed a forest. The two of them strolled along the streets. So many experts. Lu Ming's eyes swept across the room and he was secretly shocked. He realized that the people walking on the streets were all experts. Their auras were thick, their chi and blood were like fire, and they were filled with saint might. Many of them were actually experts of the saint realm. Even if the others were not saints, they were at least half saints, and the lowest was a high-level martial royal realm. Saints were considered experts in the Azure region, but here they could be seen everywhere. It's indeed Guyu Holy Land, one of the 9 holy lands of Yuan Mountain. There are too many experts. Lu Ming sighed. There were many powerful sects in the Ancient Moon Holy Land. Within these sects, there were probably as many saints as there were hairs on an ox. After all, there were 13 top sects in the Azure continent and many small and medium-sized forces. Adding them all up, there were quite a few saints. However, even if the entire Azure continent was added together, it wouldn't even be comparable to an emperor-ranked power. However, in Guyu Holy Land, any force was much stronger than emperor-level forces. One could imagine how many saints there were. In addition, there were many experts from emperor-ranked powers who came to Ancient Moon Holy Land, so it was not surprising that there were many experts here. Lu Ming realized that even the waiter who was standing in front of the shop and shouting was a half-saint, which made him speechless. So many saint weapons. He strolled through a few shops and realized that the items on display were all holy weapons. There were even great holy weapons and absolute holy weapons. There were also many other precious treasures that dazzled Lu Ming. Lu Ming went to a shop and asked if there were any Absolute Saint True Dragon Bones or Absolute Saint True Dragon Blood Essence. He did not expect that there was one, but the price was ridiculously high. Lu Ming had once used the Reincarnation Halberd to kill 2 Absolute Saints in the Tianyu demonic sect and obtain their storage rings. He was considered rather rich. However, he realized that he could not afford an Absolute Saint's True Dragon Bone and Blood Essence. It was simply too expensive. True dragons were the top existences even among thousands of divine beasts. They were very rare, especially the Absolute Saints, which was why they were so expensive. Lu Ming was speechless. He had thought that he was already quite rich, but when he came to Ancient Moon Sanctuary, he realized that he had become a pauper. In the end, Lu Ming bought some spiritual liquid to water the path understanding ancient tree. Then he and Su Ran found an inn to stay in. He would first settle down here, and then find an opportunity to come into contact with the powerful forces of the Ancient Moon Holy Land. Lu Ming thought of Huang Ling and Yi Dongfang. They were in Ancient Moon Holy Land, but it was very big. He had just arrived and did not know where their sects were. The distance was too far and it was difficult to transmit his voice. Lu Ming, the Jade Lake Saint, will appear in 7 days to look for guardians. By then there will be a gathering of geniuses. Maybe we can meet Yi Dongfang and the others. This was Su Ran's suggestion. Lu Ming nodded. That was indeed the case. Even if he did not meet Huang Ling and the rest, things would be much easier if he met his acquaintances from the 100-clan battlefield. Lu Ming entered the mountain and river diagram after he entered the room in the inn. There was a flash of light and the bubble rushed into Lu Ming's arms. "Brother Lu Ming, Bubbles is so bored here." Chirpy. Bubbles pouted. "Be good, Paoba. He'll take you out for a walk in a few days." Lu Ming touched Bubbles' small head. All right, Chirpy." Bubbles jumped up happily and skipped to the side to cultivate. Lu Ming went to the path understanding ancient tree and sat down cross-legged. Then a saint weapon appeared in his hand. It was a great saint weapon. He planned to cultivate the 10,000 soldiers scroll. During this period of time, Lu Ming had been so focused on comprehending the chaos finger of tribulation that he had neglected to cultivate the 10,000 soldiers scroll. In the Azure continent, he had obtained the storage rings of a few absolute saints. There were many great saint weapons in them, which he could seal into his Bodhis acupoints. Lu Ming did not plan to seal ordinary bright saint weapons into his body for the time being. After all, there was a limit to how much they could improve. If he wanted to seal them, he would seal great saint weapons. Lu Ming's body glowed as he began to seal the great holy weapon. A great saint weapon was powerful, but it also placed a heavy burden on one's body. However, Lu Ming's current spiritual body was a medium-grade heaven spiritual body, but its strength was equivalent to a high-grade earth spiritual body. His cultivation had also reached the sage realm. It would not be a problem for him to continue sealing great sage weapons. Chapter 1742. 1742 The Sacred Land's powerful forces buzz. One of Lu Ming's acupuncture points glowed. It was extremely bright, like a small sun. Then the great saint weapon flew into the acupoint. Instantly, more than 100 spots of light lit up on Lu Ming's body, and a saint weapon could be vaguely seen floating in each spot. The chi of more than 100 holy weapons and combat weapons linked together, forming a powerful pressure. Lu Ming felt his acupuncture points swell. If his body was not strong enough, it would have exploded. Fortunately, Lu Ming's physical body was strong enough and he managed to withstand it. Slowly, the great saint weapon was sealed in the acupoint, connecting with the other saint weapons. 2 great saint weapons, but it's still not enough. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. He had already sealed 1 great saint weapon before this, and with this one he had a total of 2. However, Lu Ming felt that he had not reached his limit and could continue to seal. Then Lu Ming took out a great holy weapon and started to seal it. Cultivation knew no time and 7 days passed in a flash. Lu Ming had sealed a total of 4 great holy weapons before he felt that his physical body had reached its limit. And NBSP he then focused on cultivating the primal chaos tribulation finger. The cultivation of divine power techniques could complement the laws. The improvement of the divine power technique would also improve the comprehension of the laws. Naturally, Lu Ming would not slack off. After spending a month in the space-breaking flying shuttle and a few days of cultivation, his mastery of the primal chaos tribulation finger had increased. It had already reached 15%. One shouldn't underestimate this 5%. If a complete set of nomological laws was divided into 100 parts, it would be equivalent to an increase of 5 parts, and its power would also increase by a large margin. For a sacred art, the power would also increase with every slight increase in the heat. At this moment, the Jade Pool meeting began. The 2 of them headed in the direction of the Jade Lake. Not only them but many people in the buildings were also heading in that direction. Many of them were young Heaven's Pride talents, which showed how attractive the Jade Lake Saint was. Not long after, they arrived at a large lake. The lake water was clear, like a mirror embedded in the ground. When Lu Ming and the rest arrived, they realized that there were already many people there. They were walking on the lake. They're all top-tier Heaven's favorites. Lu Ming's eyes swept across the crowd and noticed that each of the geniuses had a strong aura. Their chi and blood were like fire and their spirit bodies were extremely powerful. Many of them were actually heavenly spiritual bodies, and their cultivation had basically reached the saint realm. There are so many Heaven's favorites. Is the charm of the Jade Lake Saint so strong that she can attract so many Heaven's favorites? Lu Ming was very surprised. There were cultivators and martial arts powerhouses who liked beautiful women, but most people still focused on martial arts and were obsessed with cultivation. After all, the higher the cultivation, the longer the lifespan. Reaching the emperor level, one would have an almost endless lifespan, which was what many people pursued. But now, the birth of the Jade Lake Saint had attracted so many Heaven's favorites, which was strange. These are all heaven's favorites from the emperor-level forces outside of the ancient Moon Holy Land. These people are not here just for beauty. The Jade Lake Saint is so beautiful that countless heaven's favorites are attracted by her beauty, but most of them are here for the Jade Lake's resources. Each of the Jade Lake's saintesses is devastatingly beautiful. Since ancient times, many powerful heaven's favorites have become her guardians. Many of these heaven's favorites have great achievements in the future. Some of them even became emperors. They left many cultivation experiences and ancient scriptures in the Jade Lake. There are thousands of laws in the world, but the Jade Pool is said to contain the cultivation experience and divine power techniques of 50% of the laws in the world. Many of these supreme talents came for the cultivation experience in ancient scriptures. Su Ran explained and Lu Ming came to a realization. The cultivation experience of a magical power technique that contains 50% of the world's laws? Lu Ming was secretly shocked. If that was true, then it was too terrifying. In that case, did the Jade Pool have the superpower technique or cultivation experience of the 10 ultimate laws? There are so many people here today, let's go. A cold voice sounded. A young man in a golden robe with a noble temperament stepped on the air and stood above everyone. Ancient Moon Sanctuary's Wan family's heaven's favorite, Wan Tianlong. Someone exclaimed in a low voice as he recognized the young man. The WN family. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Back then, in the 100 Clan battlefield, he had killed Wan Tianqing, a prodigy of the Wan family. He had also obtained the Wan family's unique secret skill, the 10,000 Soldiers Scroll. Wan Tianlong's eyes were cold and arrogant. With his hands behind his back, he looked at the other heaven's favorites with disdain. Isn't he just from a Holy Land faction? What's there to be proud of? A red-haired young man near Lu Ming's group mumbled unhappily. He looked at Wan Tianlong with eyes full of fighting spirit. Many of the Heaven's Pride experts that came here came from Emperor-ranked powers, and the majority of them were the strongest Heaven's Pride experts of Emperor-ranked powers. After all, even in the Monarch-level forces, the heavenly spiritual body was extremely rare. For example, there was no one with the heavenly spiritual body in the Cloud Emperor Mountain. These geniuses were usually high and mighty, dominating a region. Naturally, they were proud. Now that Wan Tianlong was standing above them and looking down on them with cold arrogance, many people were naturally displeased. At this moment, a brilliant sword light shot over. The sword light faded and a young man in a gray robe appeared. He carried a combat sword on his back. His entire person was sharp like a divine sword. It's a powerful force from ancient Moon Holy Land, the heaven's favorite of the Wilderness Sword sect. There were also people who recognized this person's identity. The powerful forces of the ancient Moon Holy Land began to send their heaven's favorites. Then, a bolt of lightning flashed and a young man in a long robe made of lightning appeared. Some people recognized him as the genius of the Thunder God sect. Yi Dongfang is from the Thunder God sect. It's a pity that he didn't come. Lu Ming's gaze flickered. Ga, ga. At this time, 2 long cries were heard. 2 golden rays of light shot over at an extremely fast speed. The next moment, the golden light disappeared and 2 huge 3-legged golden crows appeared in the sky. The chosen of the Golden Crow clan. Many people's expressions changed and became very serious. The Golden Crow clan, without a doubt, was a terrifying force. Even among the many powerful forces in ancient Moon Holy Land, they were at the top, extremely powerful and terrifying. The Golden Crow race was filled with experts, and every generation would produce many heaven's favorites. The 2 3-legged golden crows scanned the surroundings and turned into 2 golden-robed young men. The 10th Golden Crow Prince. There was a cold glint in Lu Ming's eyes. One of them was the 10th Golden Crow Prince. Judging by his aura, he had clearly broken through to the sage realm. He seemed to be more than an initial bright sage. The other person's aura was even more terrifying than the 10th Golden Crow Prince's. From the discussions of the people around him, that person was the 9th Prince of the Golden Crow. Lu Ming. The 10th Golden Crow Prince's eyes were like lightning as he scanned his surroundings. Finally, his gaze landed on Lu Ming, and a cold, killing intent flashed through his eyes. Lu Ming was fearless as he looked at the 10th Golden Crow Prince. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.